Start to predict and look into the future for this 2025 football campaign. The question is, where will teams rank within the conference? Last year, we saw things play out almost at chalk. A little difference there in the SWAC West, with Southern taking that SWAC Division Championship.
And all eyes were on Alabama State.
Alabama State, certainly.
They couldn't handle that.
High expectations. Florida A&M, Jackson State always in the mix. But now, as we preview what the predicted order of finishes in the conference, you look in the SWAC East, and I think many would say, yes, we know that Jackson State, the defending champions, they have won the East Division 3 of the last 4 years. They come in with the most first-place votes, followed by Florida A&M and Alabama State, rounded out by Alabama, A&M, Bethune-Cookman, and Mississippi Valley State.
Interesting there. We knew Jackson State would get there. I'm a little surprised that Florida A&M held on to that number 2 spot. So we know Coach Coldy has got some talent down there in Tallahassee. Team coming off of 5 losses from a season ago. Alabama State, last season they were predicted to be a little bit higher, so we'll see what they do right there. But JSU, they deserve it. They earn it to be where they are.
Yeah, it was a battle in the East last year for second place. Both ended up tied between Florida A&M and Alabama State with 7-5 records. As you look at the West, how does it play?
The Wild Wild
West.
It has
been the Wild Wild West, and we have not been able to fully predict what it's going to be. Southern has been there, Prairie View has been there, high expectations for Alcorn State last year, and it's the Jaguars, the West Division champions, who are predicted to finish first in the division, followed by Alcorn State. Prairie View A&M coming in at 3rd, then Texas Southern, Grambling State, and now, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
No offense to Southern University, because you know they won the West last year, but you almost feel like you can throw a dartboard, and you can just throw a dartboard at any one of those teams, and they can compete for that championship. The one I will say, and I'm gonna call them out, is Alcorn. Like for Alcorn, since they moved into the West, we haven't heard from Alcorn. So every year it's been like, this is going to be their year. We're going to hear from Alcorn in the West because they were so competitive in the East. I wonder, is this the year that the Braves can maybe compete for that SWAC West title?
Second-year head coach Cedric Thomas will be on the stage
later
to answer that question directly. Now, Jay, when you look at the all SWAC selections, first team, let's go offense, because I think one of the things that we saw in the conference last year, Jackson State put up a ton of offense, averaging better than 35 or 36 points a game. Jacobian Morgan, he is first team all quarterback. Jacorian Sewell, who was an outstanding running back, along with Thad Franklin, locking up those spots for Alcorn State and FAMU respectively.
Yeah, I mean, Ashton Grable is an anchor on the offensive line for Florida A&M. He's an All-American candidate, deservedly so. But not surprised what you see there. A lot of Jackson State, because they got skill positions, they've got power in the middle. Florida A&M always had the ability to control the line of scrimmage. And when you look at those teams, they're competing for championships. They've got the offensive firepower to go out there and win shootout-type games, which are going to be required at some point in SWAC football play.
Now, I will say I was mightily impressed with the defensive efforts from multiple teams. Alabama State, always very stout. Jackson State, Florida A&M, typically in the conversation. But when you think about what Kelby Gibbons did last year for Southern University, he led the nation, all of FCS, in tackles for loss, top 10 in sacks. He is a guy that you want to keep your eye on. But the disruptor up there, I think, Jeremiah Williams.
Jeremiah Williams, Jackson State, you got to have that guy that can really get things done from an interior line position. But Kelby Gibbons is that dude. I mean, he's an All-American this season there, so he's got an opportunity. But you look at it, Southern University won, was it 4 or 5 games in overtime last year? The defense, bend but don't break. And that's the philosophy they get from their head coach, Terrence Graves. But they're going to need some more defensive guys to step up this year, because those are going to be some marked guys there.
Horatio Johnson was a great guy in the secondary.
Yes.
Yeah, he had all the size and all the tools that you like.
And it's good. And here's why you have to like your chance if you're Southern University. Those guys have star power. They're coming back. In today's age of the transfer portal, they've got 3 legitimate all-conference players that could have gone elsewhere that are coming back. You got to be feeling good down in Baton Rouge.
Showing love to the first-team specialists within the SWAC. Well, it's none other than Gerardo Beza, and Beza, who has been the longtime place kicker and handling most of the kicking
Travis Terrell
there. Yep. Oh,
Travis Terrell.
Travis Terrell Jr. is electric. He's special, no doubt, along with
T.C.
punter
Taylor,
Johnny
fortunate to get him
Schifano.
back. Fortunate to get him back. I mean, he was a freshman sensation, and Terrell's just a sophomore. So he's got an exciting future for him there. No, I don't want to, I don't want to jump in the way, but the kickers, you go through the kickers. I go through the excitement.
Hey, look. Wasn't it last second games we were talking about last year? The kickers matter because Grambling and Alcorn State came down to the wire. It was because of a last second field goal. Let's take a look at the second team honors within the SWAC for offense. And when we take a look there, Cam Ransom, B.J. Curry, Trenton Leary, a number of guys that you can kind of pin through. Taj Martin as well. Dupree Fuller, we remember seeing him last year make some really good catches for the defensive side of things within the second team, all SWAC selections. I mean, who stands out to you, Jay, on the defensive side as we take a look at offense here and switch to defense? Who stands out to you on that side of the ball? I think DeMarcus Thompson, Adrian Hall, James Gardner Jr., Nick Glenn, among some of those, along with Reed Pullum.
Yeah, I think Pullum would be the guy that you thought he had the talent to be a first-team guy there. And I'm curious because been hearing a lot about DeMarcus Thompson at Texas Southern, and we've been hearing a lot about Texas Southern. Some people think, is it their time to shine? Are they next? So it'll be interesting to see. But Reed Pullum, known commodity there, a legitimate player there. Those are some good football players.
And rounding out our all-conference selections on the specialist side, all SWAC second-team specialist, Trey Glimpf out of UAPB, and Jeremy Ramirez, the punter, out of Texas Southern University. Okay, so Jay, last year we saw Kelby Gibbons as the preseason player of the year. He ended up being the co-preseason player of the year along with Andrew Jones from Grambling. Jacobian Morgan highlights this list, though, for me, because this is the year for him to step up. Now that he's already gotten that Celebration Bowl championship under his belt, he leads this team for a second year in a row. He's the preseason offensive player of the year.
And talking to every coach around it, every coach, except for Jackson State, every coach is saying it's going to come down to quarterback play. Who's got a quarterback that can compete for a championship? Well, if you're Jackson State, you got a proven commodity there. But everybody else is trying to figure out if they got a quarterback that can get them to a championship. So we know Morgan's good. If he repeats and is able to go as a preseason player of the year to become conference player of the year, then Jackson State's in good shape. But if somebody emerges, it's going to be another team that's found a quarterback. And there's so many quarterback competitions that are out there right now.
Morgan better than 2,200 yards through the air, and we'll see if he can follow up with Irv Mulligan, his former teammate, the running back last year for the Tigers, to finish out as the offensive player of the year. And then we talked about Kelby Gibbons and just how special of a player that he is returning to Baton Rouge.
Absolutely. Probably the best HBCU FCS player out there in the country, one of the best. He's got an NFL talent. They're going to need big things for him to keep it going down there.
Well, how do we keep this thing going? Well, the sponsorships and those who invest in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Before we talk to the coaches and players, on the other side, we'll hear from some of the sponsors who make it all possible and continue to invest in HBCUs. We'll be back with more.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
It takes two to feel the joy. Earn unlimited 2% cash back, 1% when you buy, and 1% as you pay with the Citi Double Cash Card.
At Burger King, you're the celebrity, so you rule the menu. Introducing your barbecue brisket Whopper. It's juicy, crunchy, tangy, and imagined by you. Try the first in the Whopper by You series today.
You rule! No-hitter for Jim Abbott!
Jim Abbott defied the laws of Major League Baseball.
Welcome back to the 2025 SWAC Football Media Day kickoff, brought to you by Pepsi, who has been a longtime supporter of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Kent Montgomery, the Senior Vice President of Industry Relations for PepsiCo, couldn't be here, but he sent in this video message to talk about why he remains committed to the SWAC.
This partnership is a natural fit for Pepsi and a reflection of who we are as a brand. Fresh off extending our title sponsorship last year and doubling our investment in the SWAC, we're celebrating culture and championing the next generation of leaders. Supporting the SWAC allows us not only to celebrate the pride and legacy of HBCU athletics.
Hey everybody, and welcome back in on this fantastic Tuesday it is from Birmingham. That's where we are, and certainly we hope that you are enjoying this media day. And I'm coming back here with my partner Jay Walker, along with the Texas Southern head coach Chris Dishman. Before you say anything, I want you to check the boots. Okay, wait a minute. Got boots on the ground. Boots on the ground, ladies and gentlemen.
You got to use your mic, coach. You got to use your mic. But I want to say this. I want to say thank you to Pepsi and Kent. I want to say thank you to JP Morgan and Keisha. But now, I want to talk some football.
Oh, now he's ready.
Can we talk some football?
Now
I got to talk football. Coach Dishman, got to start off, head coach of Texas Southern University. Last year, you came in, your first year as a leader of the Tigers.
Yes.
What did you learn about coaching HBCU football and the Texas Southern community?
Well, every game is a challenge. You know, it's no easy game in the SWAC. And everybody's up to beat you, and everybody's up to, so that's what I learned most and foremost, that every week got to prepare for a different type of game. So it was good to get my boots on the ground for the first year.
Tiff liked those boots.
I did.
You going to do the fan?
They're sharp. Yeah, come on, you ready?
And you came out, I think we were eager to see what was the Chris Dishman era going to start and end up like at Texas Southern. Huge victory in the Labor Day Classic over Prairie View A&M. But then after that, when you kind of ended the season, kind of got to you, how would you describe last season?
Well, like I said, every game is a challenge. And I think this year we're going to be better prepared. I'm better prepared as a coach to be able to get, our goal is going to stay the same. To win the West, win Atlanta, and try to go undefeated. Our goal is going to always remain the same, no matter what.
Now, you had a 2-win improvement. You were in a couple of games. You finished third in the SWAC West. So then how do you grow from here? What areas do you focus in on specifically?
Well, our special teams and our backups, getting our backups together and be ready to play. If our quarterback went down last year after the Prairie View game, we didn't have a quality guy to come behind him and play. So this year I think we have a quality backup, and just letting every guys know the challenge every week and getting them up for the games each and every week and be able to win. Like I said, our goals is going to be already made the same: is win the West, win the SWAC.
I think I'm going to ask a number of coaches this. Right now, do you have an established QB1? Who's your QB1? And if it's not a QB1, who's battling for it?
Well, we have a guy that I think is going to be a pretty good player, and he got a chance to go to the next level. He can make all the throws. He's a strong leader. The guys respect him on the team.
And who was that?
KJ Cooper.
KJ Cooper, okay.
Who is standing by with our Simone Stanley, as she will get a chance to talk to KJ. But before we go, or I'll say KC, but before we leave you here, just what's the market improvement? What is the difference that you need to see in, say, for instance, game 1 from your guys from last season to game 1? What will we see differently?
Finishing games. We didn't finish one game in particular. We didn't finish the Southern game. They ended up beating us, and we didn't finish that game. Is now we start fast, but we have to finish strong. And that's the motto this year, is to finish strong. Finish the games. A couple of games we was up at halftime, and then teams came back and beat us. So we have to finish strong each and every game.
And you were a legendary NFL player. Now you're coaching. Are you having fun? You enjoying it?
I'm having a great time. I'm love being at Texas Southern. We're in the 4th largest city in the country. We're in the heart of Houston. You can't ask for any better place.
I'm curious, do you have any advice for the 3 new coaches that are coming in? Because they are learning the ropes, and here in your second season, What's your advice to them?
I have none. No one gave me advice. So.
You said just got to figure it out on their own. Just got to figure it out on their own. Our Simone Stanley is standing by with two of Coach Dishman's players. He talked about the quarterback, Kenneth Cooper Jr., along with DeMarcus Thompson, defensive lineman. Simone, take it away.
Yes, I'm happy to be joined by these fellas. How are y'all feeling today?
Blessed, amazing, thankful to be here. Good, feeling good.
Can we talk about these outfits first? Because they're clean, they're smooth, they're simple. Are you going to break them down for us, DeMarcus?
Yeah, so we came out in all black. You know, some simple. You know what I mean? We hunt at night. The guys back home, they get it. From the neck up is our motto. You know?
And y'all had a little joke between y'all. You didn't give the fans the full joke. Hunt at night. Can you explain? Are y'all going to do y'all little? What y'all were doing before the cameras came on?
It's from the neck up. You know, the people back home get it. You know, it's a Texas Southern thing. You can't say too much.
You're going to let it talk on the field.
Yeah.
And you've been talking on the field last season, and you earned SWAC preseason honors. What does that recognition mean to you?
It's a blessing, you know, to be looked at with some of the top players in the SWAC. You know, I wouldn't be able to do it with the staff and the teammates that surrounded me. So, yeah.
And KJ, you're coming back after a season-ending injury. How are you feeling right now?
Amazing. I'm feeling blessed. I'm just thankful to be here and thankful for this opportunity.
And what was that rehab process like for you?
Really was just attacking it day in and day out, just assuring that I'm ready as soon as the spring started. So I'm just thankful that, you know, I'm surrounded around a great staff with this training staff and then the people at Memorial Hermann that, you know, helped me out through this process of assuring that I was ready for the spring and then 100% going into the fall.
And I got to see some of y'all interactions with Coach Dishman. It's y'all second year playing under him. What are you excited about this year? Y'all said he's a leader that's humble and relates to you as players. What are y'all looking forward to in year two with him?
Just improving on what we did from last year, you know, because we all just, well, KJ, we just got here, so, you know, it was a new staff and everything. So the guys coming back, we're going to be able to gel better and have a better season coming up.
And I know you're excited to get back out on the field, especially coming off an injury. What are you looking forward to year two under center?
Well, just really just, you know, helping out my teammates, you know, being the best leader that I can be, and then just being, you know, the best team and the best offense that we can be in general. Just really just worrying about ourselves, worrying about the details and the things that we can control and fix on a daily basis that, you know, can hopefully contribute as we get onto the field.
Yes, and I have to ask y'all about the predicted order of finish. When it came up on the screen and Tiffany and Jay were talking about it, you said, man, that's crazy. What was your reaction seeing y'all predicted to finish fourth?
I'm not too surprised, you know. But like I said, from the neck up, you know what I mean? They're going to see. They're going to see this year. Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out what this motto actually means.
No, you guys will see. You know what I mean? Yeah, you guys will see the motto.
I like it. Well, guys, thank you for the time. Tiffany, Jay, back to y'all.
Thanks so much, Simone. And when you listen to your players, Coach Dishman, and understanding that you got to put your boots on the ground starting in late August, let's take a look at that schedule and how both DeMarcus and KJ can help you all get there and start off with a win in that very important Labor Day Classic against Prairie View A&M.
Well, that's always the first game, and it's a very important game. And, you know, last year was the first time I think Texas Southern won in some odd years, but we're here to write a new script and keep this streak going that we have of beating Prairie View.
Did you hear the players say that he's a great leader, but he's humble? So he just threw that in, just humbly doing that. Yeah, that's the first time that we beat him.
You got to understand, man, defensive backs in the NFL, they're the sneakiest people you're going to meet now. They have to have that thing about it. Now, when I look at that schedule there, you got to be road warriors. You got to go at Southern, tough spot, at Alabama State, at Grambling. If y'all going to get it done, it's going to have to be because y'all took care of your business at those pretty good football teams.
Well, it's all about preparing those guys for doing training camp. So we've got a lot of different things we do to prepare those guys for the sudden change, for a long road trip and stuff like that. Be able to get out and flex. And our strength coaches do a great job with us getting our guys in shape.
And I'm going to put the pressure on you. Winning the first game versus Prairie View, that's not enough no more. You did that, so you got to continue throughout the season.
Oh, yeah. Winning the first game versus Prairie View, everybody said we'll win the first game, but we got 11 games. We're trying to win 11.
Simply put, trying to win 11.
Yeah.
All right, so we end on that. Coach Dishman, We sincerely appreciate your time along with DeMarcus and Kenneth. We'll be back with more, and we look forward to seeing what the Texas Southern Tigers will do for this upcoming 2025 season. We'll be back with more here. 25 SWAC Football Media Day kickoff brought to you by Pepsi. Mississippi Valley State is in the building. The Delta Devils have a new head coach, first-year man, Terrell Buckley. He is up here with us. Jay Walker. Y'all know a little something about playing in the NFL. We went from one NFL veteran to the next here. So this is a growing trend, but y'all got a little something y'all
seems to be the
before?
trend. Some of us were better pro football players than some of us. I'll take that there. But Coach Terrell Buckley, first of all, congratulations on being the head coach of Mississippi Valley State. And then the question is, everyone was, why? Why did you decide now is the time for you to become a football coach?
Well, I've been a coach for almost 20 years in every conference, the ACC, the MAC, the SEC. And I spent Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and this was an opportunity that presented itself. Why not? And to leave a legacy more than just being a former player. The Valley, I felt like being from Mississippi made, that I felt like it was needed, the mindset, the attitude, and Valley, let's be honest, has been bad for a long time. And I felt like I was a change agent that was needed.
Pascagoula?
The Gula.
All right, Pascagoula, Mississippi's own. All right, in terms of, and I remember we had a conversation yesterday about, hey, you were in the XFL before coming over to Valley, right, with the Orlando Guardians. So you had a chance to kind of start up there. Now you're trying to provide a resurgence at Mississippi Valley State. What are the similarities or something that you can take over from that experience to now to help you grow this program?
A lot, because in the XFL, we started from scratch. No players, looked at about 2,000 players. You had the 90-man roster in the summer, getting it down to 53. Same approach with Valley. We didn't look at no tape. We didn't care about all what happened last year because it wasn't very good. So why look at that? So start from scratch, recruiting, taking advantage of the transfer portal, doing everything that we possibly could do to flip the roster and put the best men out there. And young lady, we actually have a young lady on the team that's a kicker.
Wow, okay.
Yes, probably the best athlete on our squad.
Breaking news. Now you're going to offend some people. You got some of your team here.
They know. They know.
So I go back, I think Terrell Buckley, you played defensive back at Florida State. Florida State had a defensive back that made a mark in the SWAC by the name of Deion Sanders.
Yes.
What has the conversation been like? Did that inspire you a little bit? What's that relationship been like?
It's been constant. Where D, I call him D. D has, since I've known him, set the standard. He's been the standard. And to follow it, like I told him, keep doing what you're doing and leading us. Keep doing what you're doing as a father. Keep being that trailblazer, and everybody else is following because he's doing it the right way.
And what excites you about this team that you've got for this upcoming season? What gets you excited to say, you know what? And I'm going to say you all won. The big win last season was Florida A&M. So they got
lone
a
win,
taste
but
of
that was the biggest win. I mean, they snapped the home game winning streak, so that's something that you build off of.
But what excites you for this upcoming season about your football team?
Well, that's what we want to do. We want to take away the y'all had one win, right? We want the consistency of going out competing and winning ball games week in and week out. With the team that we've assembled, there's almost 70 new players. The mindset and the attitude that they have is, this is not the old Valley. This is a new era. Buckle up for 2025.
All right, so I've got to know the specific benchmarks. Like, what are the specific benchmarks or goals that you have set to say, hey, this is progress for us, or this is what success looks like for us?
It started as soon as I arrived, discipline. Not just on the field, but the classroom. We had a 47% increase in the spring over our GPA. We had only, which we tried, we only had, I think, 5 guys getting the transfer portal, because the mindset was, we are here to be a disciplined, intelligent FBI football team. that's going to be first class, on and off the field. That's the benchmark. We put in the work now. We don't win ball games in the summer for the fall, or you don't win them in the fall. You win spring, summer, you put all that together, fall camp, and now you start to win ball games.
And how are you going to win those games? You know, this is a school that brought us Willie Totten and Jerry Rice and some legendary guys. What's your style of play? You're going to be a throw first? You're going to be more conservative, keep it close? What's your style of play going to show?
Whatever it takes. That's where the FBI comes in. If we got to run it down your throat, we will. If we got to throw it over the top, we will. If we got to blitz you on defense, we will. If we got to play drop 8, we will. You cannot do that if your FBI is not high enough.
In looking at your schedule for the year, are there certain games or teams that you knew about coming in that you should be keying in on or saying, okay, if we get this W, you know, this helps to lift our season, morale? What games do you look at? Everyone's important. I know you're going to tell me.
Everyone is important.
Outside of the everyone is important.
The first game, obviously, Southern is, to me, is the most important game of the year, because everything we put into it, this new era, the buckling up, we need to make sure that we show up for the Southern game and let them know. And I know Southern is going to show up because they don't want to lose to Valley. Nobody wants to lose to Valley. But in 2025, they ain't going to have a choice.
You know, and when you look at that, probably one of the more balanced schedules there. Normally you can look at a schedule and say, you got to get off to a fast start or you have to finish strong. But you see they start off with Southern. We talked about Texas Southern, FAMU. So they got to come out hitting. And then it doesn't stop because the end of the season, look at that back half of the schedule. Jackson State, Alabama State, Prairie View and A&M. So if Mississippi Valley State's going to make an impact, they've got to be consistent throughout.
And that's the key. That's what this program is all about. The discipline, the consistency, the mindset. Anybody can come out here and do something for a week or two, and we just finished one of the most grueling off seasons that you ever have.
Tell me,
it was rough.
What does FBI mean? You mentioned that a couple times. What's
football FBI? Intelligence.
Football intelligence. Okay.
High IQ, which means you can basically. Can you make the adjustments on the fly? Can you make them not just at halftime? Can you make individual adjustments? It's something that you have to live. Absolutely. To understand. You know that. Absolutely. You done had teammates that you like, man, we can't make no adjustments with him. Don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it.
Here's the thing. These guys have lived, but not long enough to have seen you play. So they got to watch you on YouTube just to see your prowess and how great you were on the field. Simone Stanley is joined by DeFabian Fant and Kobe Bird. So let's put some of that knowledge to the test and see if they've got some FBI, as Coach was talking about.
Yeah, so before we get to the FBI, we have to talk about these outfits because they are loud in the best way. I was sitting with the Texas Southern players. They saw y'all in the distance, and they were like, that green is clean, okay? So what went into these outfits?
Just a lot of thinking. Kobe Bird really came up with the idea of the double breast and kind of the color. But I threw in my bow tie and, my glasses, accessories and whatnot.
I like it. So did the vision come to life? Is this what you wanted?
Yeah, of course. It's new era at Valley. We're going to stay clean. We first class, on and off the field, like Coach said. So we got to look the part and be the part.
I like it. Bring up Coach. Coach is a Hall of Famer at Florida State at your position, played at the highest level at DB. How cool is it to learn from one of the best at your position?
It's a blessing, first of all. I be telling the guys, they don't understand how much of a blessing we have to have just a NFL style and NFL coaches that's did what we want to do before already. So it's really a blessing just to have that knowledge and that wisdom that I can just go to anytime, really. I can call them up on the phone when I need to and just talk about anything, and not just football. As a man, that's life as well.
That's awesome. And DeFabian, what is it like getting to know Coach Buckley?
Discipline. He's a very disciplined guy, hard worker. I mean, he knows how to create opportunities for guys and push them to be what they want to be and just make them work hard. But he's very disciplined, yes.
He's talked a lot about FBI up there on the stage. What does that phrase mean to y'all?
Just being smart football players. We can win more games we can win games not just off our skill. We can win games by just being smarter than guys, just being real FBI football players, smart players of the game, and really having respect for the game and watching film. That is everything outside of the football field is really what that means, just being smart football players all around.
And what do you think this new identity of this Valley defense is going to look like under coach?
It's going to be very fast, very physical. We're coming to give it to you. Like, we're not going to wait for you to give it to us to finally wake up. No, we're going to give it to you, and we're going to close the door. We're going to shut the door on anybody we play, and we're ready to do that.
And Coach said y'all are going to win any way y'all have to, any style of offense or defense y'all have to play. He's going to throw it out there. Are you ready to attack that mission?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I am. We plan to come at guys with a lot of speed, discipline, and just knowing the game. Just knowing the game and being able to identify problems and attack them head on.
And Valley was predicted to finish last. You know, preseason don't mean nothing really. Do y'all feel like y'all are underdogs this year, and how are y'all going to approach that mindset?
It's a new era at Valley. Like, just come getting this August 30th, 4 p.m., Rice-Time Stadium. It's a new era at Valley. You'll see exactly what we got to bring and what this season got in store for us did.
You said that very confidently. I'm ready to see it. I believe it.
Of course. It's a new era at Valley. The work we put in, and the strain that we've been going through, we're ready. We're just ready to put it out there. We're just ready. We're ready.
Enough said. August 31st, be there. See it. Excuse me, August 30th, be there. See it. Tiffany?
Yeah, Kobe was talking about making sure that they start off this new era at Valley with a win. How do they close the door on not only Prairie View A&M, but teams throughout the season?
Doing it right now, preparation. How you prepare, if you feel like you prepared for every situation, it breeds confidence. And I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I felt like they was speaking with a lot of confidence. Because you bet you believe they've been put through the ringer, and they're gonna be prepared.
And they were very well spoken. So hats off to them. Good job, young gentlemen over there. And DeFabian, I'm looking at you. You with the bow tie. I'm started thinking it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. but you look clean. You look clean.
Hey, look.
The vision was
this green is hit.
Stand out. Yes.
They do look great.
Just be different.
They got it hitting there. Guys, good job there representing. Good luck to Mississippi Valley State this upcoming season. He's got that shiny look.
T-Buck. They call you T-Buck?
T-Buck, a.k.a. the General. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. When we come back, we'll hear from some more teams. Who's up next?
UAPB.
Arkansas Pine Bluff, the black and gold, when we return to SWAC Media Day.
And here from the Magic City, it's the 2025 SWAC Football Media Day kickoff, brought to you by Pepsi, and it's the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions up to the plate. They are on stage now. We're joined by their wonderful head coach, Alonzo Hampton, and coach, back for more, back for another season. And what does this 2025 campaign have in store for the Golden Lions?
Well, obviously this year we're excited because it's year 3. As we said, the first year we were restoring the pride. Second year we kind of earning our respect. And this year we want to be able to finish. We were really close in 3 games that we had an opportunity to win in the fourth quarter. And as I told people, I didn't want to be a one-hit wonder. The one thing I wanted to do, I wanted to be able to come in and build a foundation program, and we've done that. First year we lost bigs. Last year we were able to lose close. This year we need to be able to win close, and then the fourth year we're able to win big. So we're excited about the opportunity to be able to come out, continue to compete.
When you look at this upcoming football season, as you see, every coach, you can see the process, get more competitive there. You had the game that we were able to call their big win versus Prairie View A&M at home, which I think y'all really needed. What were you able to build off of that, and how is this team taking place? What do you have to improve upon to get the win total that you want?
Well, obviously for us, the number one thing is when we went back and evaluated the season, the reason we were losing games is the O-line, D-line. All right, we played Jackson State, got exposed, and you played Alabama A&M, you got exposed. And so that's where our motto this year is toughness, being able to finish. And so we've really made a conscious effort of recruiting guys on the O-line, D-line, and obviously our systems are in place offensively. I feel really good about what we're doing. Defensively, man, we're going to be a lot more aggressive this year. And so if we do all those things, and again, we got guys that people do not even know about. Just like you didn't know about Giovanni Gibson. I'm saying it again on this stage. We got guys that are going to shock people in the conference.
That was going to be my question because, I mean, unfortunate thing about college football nowadays, I mean, Giovanni Gibson was a special talent. No longer there on campus now. Give me an insight. Who's going to be that guy to replace him with that type of productivity?
Well, I can tell you this. We got a guy by the name of Kareem Burke. He transferred to us from FAMU a couple years ago. I thought him and Giovanni was going to be the best two receivers after going through spring ball. That's how good they were. Nobody knew it, but I did. Like, I know receivers. Like, I'm a DB guy, right? So I watched them. And so Kareem Burke is special. We got a guy, Josh Richard, that's transferred from Maryland. Had no catches. He's special. And so, again, what we do offensively, the way we throw the ball around and the things that we can do. Then we got some guys on defense. Christian Gamage, he played receiver last year. I thought he was a guy that could have been easily an all-SWAC guy in the return game, but he wasn't. Obviously, the guy at Jackson State's good. But what you're going to see this year, you're going to see a highly competitive football team, and we'll still be smiling, still be a lot of fun. But this team here is destined for more wins, and we're excited. Our fan base is excited. Our players are excited. Had about 60 players here during the summer. Man, those guys are gelling. So we're on the right track. And so, again, we're just excited about the opportunity to be able to go out and compete every Friday or Saturday.
You always bring an enthusiasm and an excitement every time that you're on stage or in front of your players. What has been the motto or kind of, again, the theme that you have dubbed for this upcoming season?
Well, I mean, honestly, for us, it's us versus them. Okay? Who is them? Whoever you're playing. All right? It's the teacher in the classroom, and I'm trying to prove to her I'm your best student. All right? It's the girl on the campus that I'm trying to get. All right? I'm the one for you. And so that's our motto. We got to be able to prove ourselves every single day. And so we'll continually do it. And I'm going to share this with you guys. And I said it before. I've been at UAPB for 5 semesters. Every semester we had over 3.0 GPA. But last semester we had the highest ever in the history of the program, 3.21. I do academics and I do athletics at a high level. All right? And it's a process, and I'm going to keep smiling, and I'm going to keep seeing it. I feel it, and I trust it. And my players know it. They know who I am. They know what I'm about. My administration know what I'm about. And so we're on the right track. And so I don't really care. I heard somebody say they picked us last. At the end of the day, you play the game. All right? We got to go out and prove ourselves right. We're not trying to prove anybody wrong. We're proving ourselves right each and every day we go out and practice.
And, Coach, when you have an opportunity to look at the schedule and thinking about some of those games that you're going to play, you know, where can be that proving ground? Obviously, the first game is going to be the most important game, and the one after that. But where are kind of spots during the season where you can do that?
All right, so the first game of the year, let's be real. All right, so I was just looking at it, Texas Tech. I think they have the highest payroll in the NIL area, right? They got like $28 million. Well, I think we got about $30. Right? So we already know what that's going to be, right? So at the end of the day, our kids get an opportunity, and I share this with my coaches. I said it's our job to get as many players to be able to play in this game. All right? I want a football team where we know that we're going to be able to play about 55 to 60 guys a game. That's why we're called coaches, right? I want us to be able to teach our players how to play the game. And so we're trying to create more depth. And so when you talk about where can make a difference, for us, it's going to be the first game of the year. I want to see how many guys can go out there, line up and play our offense, play our defense, be in the right position, and then on special teams, guys that can be special. So that's what we're excited about. And then you turn around, you got UCA coming. We got to go to them. Last year was a competitive game, and we had a couple injuries. And so obviously that's an in-state opponent. We're excited about that one as well.
Let me ask you this, Coach. What excites you about coaching at UAPB? You know, you sit there, wins and losses, but you obviously have to have a love. Yeah. What excites you and motivates you every day to get up and coach at UAPB?
Well, they believed in me, right? So here I was, a high school head coach, all right, at Dumas High School. And then I decided to leave that job at Dumas High School. I walked in the building to interview as a volunteer coach at UAPB. And the head coach said to me, if you want to volunteer, I'll take you. And so I came in that building and I volunteered. Within 6 months, I was hired full time. And so they believed in me, all right? And so that's why I believe in them. So when I stayed there for 4 years, worked my way up as a coordinator, when I left, all right, I made a prayer. I said, God, I'm going to be the head coach here one day. And so I never forgot it. And so they believed in me, so I owe it to them. All right? Because let's be honest, I always tell people, it's only a couple of jobs that you're probably going to be able to get right out the back. I had them already circled. UAPB were one of them. And so when the opportunity came, I jumped at it. And so that's why I fight so hard for them. That's why I do everything for our players, our administrators, our alumni, our staff, and our fans. So that's why I believe in what I believe in. And quite honestly, God gave me the vision, and he never failed me yet. So I'm going to keep believing it until he tell me otherwise.
Well, two guys standing by with Simone Stanley certainly believe in your vision, and all-conference punter or place kicker and Trey Glimpf, along with Jeremiah Rogers, standing by with our Simone Stanley in the Players Corner.
Yes, we're sitting over here with these nice butter pecan blazers. And Trey, you said you don't like that description?
Golden line yellow.
Golden line yellow, excuse me. And you said these outfits had special sentiment to you. What can you describe what the bow tie describe?
Well, the bow tie describes, it's really a tribute to my grandfather who passed away from brain cancer. And, you know, the fit as a whole is a great representation of, you know, what UAPB is.
And how did it feel being able to, you know, help represent someone who means something so close to your teammate?
It feels great, you know, just describing the golden excellency in Pine Bluff.
So, Trey, you earned all SWAC preseason second team honors. Congratulations. What did that mean to you?
Thank you. It means the world. You know, Coach Hampton and Coach Manley, my teammates, they put me in great positions to be successful. And, you know, we just try to take advantage of every opportunity.
All right. And Jeremiah, Coach was up there talking about the key to this team this year is going to be toughness up front. How do you plan to accept that challenge in this offensive line group?
We accept it all in full. It's all about the mindset and how we go into each game.
And Trey, last season you were a first-time captain. How did it feel to step into that leadership role, and how do you plan to continue that this season?
It was special. Having a team is like having a bunch of brothers, and they mean the world to me. So them putting me in that position was really special. Being a leader, you know, I've been here for a while, so we kind of know what to expect, what expectations are, how to carry yourself. You know, going to class, being involved in the community, and really just try to lead by example. So I plan to continue that this year.
And you talk about going to class. When Coach was up there talking about the GPAs, the high GPAs you all have, you were like, yes. Why does that excite you, taking pride in the classroom?
Well, that's one of Coach Hampton's main principles. He wants us to go to class, and he expects us to be successful, you know, in football and outside football. And, you know, since Coach Hampton's been here, we've had 5 consecutive semesters of over a 3.0, and it's really a testament to, you know, the teachers and the support staff. But it's on us going out there and earning it every day.
And Jeremiah, when we were sitting here talking, y'all were saying that the key this year is going to be finishing games as well. How can this team execute down the stretch?
By just playing hard, you know, playing to our ability. You know, we have a lot of coaches, new players alike, just evolving into the system. And can't wait to see them on full display.
Definitely can't wait. And Trey, we saw the preseason predicted order of finish. UAPB was predicted to finish last. How can y'all shock any doubters that y'all might have this year?
Well, I think us as a group, we took a little bit of disrespect to it, and we plan on going out there every day, lunch pail mentality, pick it up, go to work. You know, we expect to be a much better team this year. It's a lot closer group, and we're excited for every opportunity we get. We got 12 games to show everybody who we are. We believe in Coach Hampton. Coach Hampton has a great vision for this school, and we're just excited to go out there and prove it.
And we can't wait to see it. We're going to be looking out for that golden lion yellow on the field this season. Tiffany?
Simone, ask Trey if he was on the sticks yesterday in the gaming truck, because I saw him playing a serious game.
Yes, I went for it on fourth down.
You went for it on fourth down. You
I went for it on fourth down because Coach Hampton wants us to be aggressive. He wants us to be fast and physical. And I had a good play drawn up, and, you know, sometimes it doesn't go your way, but I try to carry the Coach Hampton mindset into everything I do in life, and it's a proven winner.
It's a proven winner until it doesn't work. And then you got to take the L there.
But he's well coached. He's well coached. You can see he's making sure he listens to Coach Hampton.
We're gonna call you next time we see Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm gonna say I like the black and pecan.
Trey said, "Don't do it. Don't do it."
It was butter pecan.
Butter pecan.
And I was thinking about that for a minute. I thought that was gonna go well, and Trey just laughed.
That's right. It's bright though. It's bright. It is bright. Guys did a good job there, and that's has to be the thing that motivates for the upcoming season. So last thing before we let you go is going to be, going into the season, what's your mantra? What are you telling your guys?
Hey, let's go out, have fun, let's compete at a high level, and trust your teammates. And we talk about this as we looked at the schedule for this upcoming season. All we got to do is play every game. All right, go out there and play as hard as you can for as long as you can. Don't quit. And so when we do that, we're going to get the wins that we deserve. And our guys have put the work in over the summer, and we're excited about it. And so it's funny when I look at the standings or the preseason positions. At the end of the day, you got to play the game. And so our Golden Lions, they'll be ready. We won't hide in a corner, and we're going to be hunting. I can promise you that.
All right, well, you performed well under the bright lights here at Media Day. We'll see what the Golden Lions have in store. Speaking of hunting, the Cats, the Wildcats out of Bethune-Cookman are coming up on the other side of the break. We appreciate you, Coach Alonzo Hampton of the UAPB Golden Lions.
I'd do anything.
2025 SWAC Football Media Day kickoff presented by Pepsi, and the man of the moment is with us now on stage as we welcome you back in, Tiffany Green, Jay Walker, and Raymond Woody Jr., the head coach of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Coach Woody, this is year 3 of your coaching era at Bethune-Cookman, and so for year 3, the expectations are great for you. What did you see from last year that gives you the hunch or the motivation that this year is going to be something different and special?
Well, the guys, like I said, if you go back to last year's season, when you lose 5 games, a total of 14 points, it's all about finishing. And technique, fundamentals, attention to detail equals the coordination of the play. So that's what we've been talking about since spring ball all the way through the summer and then getting ready for the fall now.
When you talk about finishing, we hear coaches talk about that all the time. What does that look like? What type of drills? What does that look like specifically to help your guys know how to finish when it counts?
Well, you know, film, big eye in the sky doesn't lie, you know, so once we put them through series of things, whether it's the classroom, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's on the field, it's all about measuring the results.
What type of results are you expecting from the quarterback position, right? Because there is now some new blood or competition in there with one of the transfer quarterbacks that's going to give way for that. What type of competition do you expect at that QB position?
Well, this summer, you know, those guys, they've been working together, Amari and Timmy McClain, Cam, you know, they've been pushing each other, you know, iron sharpens iron. So when fall camp comes, we're excited to see what they put out on the field. And they understand that they have to come to work and go to work every day. Nobody's going to be given anything.
Now Woody, here's what I want to know, and here's what a lot of HBCU football fans want to know. Bethune-Cookman had great success in the Mid. Now in the SWAC, they haven't made that impact yet. How close are y'all to making an impact to say, you know what, SWAC, Bethune-Cookman football's here?
Well, I really feel like we're very close. You know, obviously, administration giving me a chance to, you know, take over the program. We had some challenges, you know, as far as APR. Really excited for the guy. Went up 91 points in a single season. Now we're not on probation anymore. GPA overall 3.25. The highest it's ever been, and now it's time to put the wins on the field. And like I said, when you go back to last season, 5 games, a total of 14 points, you know, that's just the technique, fundamentals, attention to detail, and we're excited, you know, about this season.
What was an area of emphasis in terms of your recruiting, whether it was high school or in the portal? What did you say, you know what, we have to get better at this position here?
I would say, you know, O-line, we didn't lose a lot up front. You know, D-line, we lost a couple. So we, you know, the game is won in the trenches. So, you know, we got a couple D-line needs. And then we wanted to bring in another quarterback or two, you know, to push the guy that's already there, Cam Ransom.
And let me ask you this question here. The challenge for me, you know, watching the game and seeing it all, when Bethune-Cookman's rolling, that Florida speed shows. They can run sideline to sideline with anybody. Outside looking in, didn't seem as fast as I'm used to seeing the Wildcats. What are y'all doing about the team speed? Did you go out and get some more speed guys?
Yes.
There ain't no point being a Florida school without no speed.
Oh, most definitely. And what we do too is, just so everyone understands, we recruit high school guys, and then we go from high school to junior college, because what we don't want to do is just recruit a bunch of guys from the transfer portal to come in, and we bring baggage in. Now we're a year away. We have to teach them our culture. So those guys are getting bigger, stronger, and faster, in the weight room, and you're going to see some speed out there in 2025.
I need that. I need some speed. You know why you got that speed? Because you need the speed to go to that fight song. Let's Go Wildcat. That's a fast song now. You got to be able to wiggle on that one there. Go ahead.
Well, I know you remember me chasing you down from behind when you played at Howard.
Man, what nobody worry about Bethune-Cookman, man.
See, he don't want you to bring up the old stuff like that.
No.
I'm glad that you did. That's important.
Bring that up because I played against school like Bethune-Cookman is what happened this summer. That's why I'm in the Black College Football Hall of Fame. Bring it up.
I tried to give him his due early on.
He was a bad man.
And then he kept going. I'll tell you some of the speed that we'll see on the field, and sure enough, that defensive line, A.J. Hall, along with Malik Huggins, who is with our Simone Stanley. And I'm just curious to know, guys, Malik, what do you think about the speed element of your team this year?
It's going to be a sight to see. Got the best receiver room in the SWAC, and I stamped that. Yes, ma'am.
What makes this receiver room so special this year?
Just the guys coming back. We got all 11 starters coming back. Got a couple big boys coming back on the line. So and we got an explosive offensive coordinator coming in, and Coach Pimp. So I think we're gonna shock the world.
Ooh, I like it. And AJ, we talked about that toughness. Coach talked about the toughness, talking about focusing on finishing this year. How can you see the team executing better down the stretch?
I really just piggyback on what Coach Woody said, just finishing. We live by that every day. You bring that energy in the room, in the meetings, going on to the field, just being able to finish. You can't start a game and expect to win if you don't finish. So just bringing that every day, that's how you're going to win a game. That's how you're going to win championships, by being able to finish. So just him bringing that in and me picking it back and recognizing that and voicing that to the rest of the team, that's the motto, being able to finish.
So Tiffany caught us off guard a little bit because AJ and Malik were actually mid-Bethune shuffle after Jay was talking about
it. Let's go Wildcats.
We jumped right into football. So let's keep it a little fun for a minute and talk about these Blazers, because we were talking about it before we went live. How y'all feel in these fitted suits?
Man, Woody ain't want to let us show out. We tried to go all black, but he wanted to keep us calm. But I came a little simple. I'm shining a little bit. But AJ, my boy, came with them Doc Martens on. Let him show you his fit.
We came to original tradition with the maroon Blazers. Shout out to Bethune, shout out to Coach Fagan getting us right, and we switched it up. We came with the black tie, so I feel like the whole fit. It's a blessing just to be here and a blessing to put on these Bethune-Cookman Blazers.
So Coach said y'all gonna shine on the field. Y'all can keep it calm at media day.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Coach talking about. He got to spice it up a little bit too.
Coach talks a lot about academics, and he was talking about it a lot on stage. How have y'all been able to balance your majors, if y'all can shout out your majors, and football this year?
Right now, so I already graduated. I had graduated with IDS, but right now I'm getting my master's in organizational leadership. And academics is a strong part of our program. He preached that every day. Like, you got to have the grades to be able to play for us. Like, you just can't come into college and be a wildcat if you don't got the grades. So just him preaching the grades to everybody, the freshmen, the transfer. Like, you got to be able to have the grades. So just being able to be strong on the field and off the field, like, you can't do anything without putting a student in front of athletes.
I like it, and y'all are getting the recognition in the classroom and on the field as well. Both of y'all earned SWAC preseason second team honors. What does that mean to y'all?
Yeah, that was disrespectful. I don't know who made that.
No. It wasn't me, so you ain't gotta look at me like that.
We plan on going first team, All-American, everything. Yeah.
Did you feel disrespected?
See, me, the thing about me, I'm a very humble person. So it's the preseason. Like, I don't really worry about the preseason. I don't worry about all the things that happen before the season. I know my game. I know what I'm capable of do, and I'm gonna give y'all the end of the book after the season. So that preseason, don't let that just be in the works and be on the paper. Like, find number 44 right after the season and check them stats.
Oh, I like it. Now, Malik, I'm scared to ask you about the preseason predicted order to finish now. Do you mind?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Woody answer that one. That's crazy.
Okay, we're gonna let Coach handle that. All right, Coach, take over.
You know what I say before we look at that predicted order finish? And I'm going to say, Woody, you can attest this for me. A.J. Hull, he looked like a Wildcat, right? When I say that, when I think Bethune-Cookman, all these years I've been covering him, and when I play against him, they always, give me a shot at A.J. Hull. They always got a dude on that team that got them locks, right? And go have it tight, go keep it tight, look clean, go look a little bit old for his age, and go come bring it to you. So that, to me, that's what a Bethune-Cookman Wildcat football. I mean, think about it. I mean, that's the school that brought you Kimbo slicing them dudes. Rasheem Mathis had them dreads. They're going to keep them locks, and they're going to chase the football. My line, AJ.
I say it's really just a blessing, you know. I'm the old head on the team.
It's always one of y'all, AJ. It's always gonna be.
I'm the old head on the
That's
team.
That's South Florida right there.
I've been at Cookman. This is my fourth season. But I'm just saying, man, I'm blessed. I love my university. I love the city of Daytona. So I'm blessed to still be able to be that leader, to be the captain on the team, and just lead my team to destiny, lead my team to victory, and just trusting my coaches, and most importantly, following behind Coach Woody footsteps. He's a great man, great coach.
But Woody, am I lying? It's always going to be one or two dudes on the Wildcats that are going to look just like A.J. Hall.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade A.J. or my man Malik for anything.
Yeah, because you love the humbleness, the confidence, and what they bring to the field, and that's a powerful combination. And what they talked about was shining. What you talked about was finishing. When you look at the schedule for the upcoming season, you've got 12 opportunities to be able to do so as a team. And so what stretch of games outside of, obviously the first one most important, but is there a block of time where you're thinking, that's a big chunk of the season for us, that's important for us to finish those games?
Well, you know, any game on our schedule is the most important, so we're going to take one game at a time. As long as we keep progressing, obviously we're going to try to win every game, you know, but just playing these games and staying healthy is the key. And once we finish, you know, Edward Waters, then now we get into the conference play.
Well, Coach, you know, I got a little eligibility left. You know, those first 2 weeks, you're going down to South Florida now. You know, I'll suit up for you the first 2 weeks. Everybody loves going down to South Florida for a couple of games. But I'm joking. Besides that, obviously, Florida Classic. You know, we talk about we talk about that season there. You got work you got to do during the year. What's that Florida Classic mean to y'all?
Well, you know what it means. I mean, it's like the Super Bowl. You know, I mean, these guys, they've been playing Little League. Some of them played same high schools. Now it all comes together. I mean, parents, you know, there, and then certain fraternities and sororities, and it's just a big deal for us.
And then I say, end of the year, you know, that stretch right there. If Bethune-Cookman's in contention to at Grambling, at Jackson State, neutral site game in Orlando versus Florida A&M. So Wildcats are going to have to get that act together when they leave Daytona.
Somewhat of a de facto home game, though. Like, Daytona Beach is, 45 minutes away from Orlando?
Yes.
So they always bring a great crowd. And
spoken to somebody that went to Florida A&M.
It has nothing to do with it. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time here. Coach Raymond Woody Jr., A.J. Hall, Malik Huggins as well, and good luck to the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats this season.
Thanks so much.
Don't.
We'll stay with the theme
Let's
of
go.
the Cats on the other side as the Jaguars on the prowl from Southern University. They'll be back when we return.
The 20.
SWAC Football Media Day kickoff brought to you by Pepsi. It's the SWAC West Division champs in the building, and that's the Southern Jaguars, led by their head coach, Terrence Graves. And Coach Graves, the question is, are you ready for another year?
Well, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Simply put, 8-5 season a year ago, one of the best defensive players in the country, a lot of returners coming back for you. What are you most looking forward to for this upcoming season?
Well, I'm just looking for our program, our team to be better, to execute, to make the plays that we need to make, and to just grow overall as a team.
Coach, you go back and you look at film, and oftentimes you're always, kind of mincing through the film and what you can do better. What areas are a focus for you that you want to improve? What depth or what position are you caring about or paying closer attention to?
Well, we always want to be sound in our offensive, defensive lines. Our coaches did a really good job of going out and recruiting and getting the type of young men we need to make sure that we solidify up front, because it starts up front. And so they did a really good job. And then we had some losses on the back end and secondary. And coaches did a really good job of replacing those young men. And then on the offensive side of the ball, we went out and got some more wide receivers. I thought we just did a really good job overall of addressing the needs of our program.
And, Coach, when you look at Southern University, what's your message to the team? How do you get better? What are you telling them? Everybody wants to get better. You all won the West. But what's your challenge to the team? We're going to get better doing what?
Well, you always got to get better in every single day. Everything you do, we talk about dominating the day, which means when the good Lord opens your eyes, you thank Him for another day, your feet hit the floor, you're on time for class, you're ready to go, you're eating the right things, you're in the iron hole working hard. When you go to practice, when you watch film, you're looking at the opponent. How can I scheme or get better versus that person? And then the way we practice with a sense of purpose. And so that's the thing. We don't want to just get by. We want to get better.
Well, let me give you a little advice. All right, what your mantra should be. You the coach, but I was thinking about this, talking to Coach Gray. If I'm you know what I'm telling my guys? This thing don't have to be close. Y'all won, 4 games in overtime last year? It don't have to be close. You should be like, y'all got the talent, let's put them away early. But that also speaks to the ability y'all have to win in close ball games as well.
Oh, no question about it. And the thing I'd say to that is whether it's by 1 or 100, I just want to win. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be close, but if it's close, I want to come out on top. So we're going to take them any way that we can get them. Certainly we want to always – if we can close it out early, that's what the goal and intent is. But, you being a former football player, you understand those ball games, those 60 minutes, a lot of stuff happens. So, those guys showed a lot of intestinal fortitude to be able to overcome those deficits in most ball games. And so hats off to them. And it's a learning experience. So I think those guys understand that, and we're working to not have as many close games.
And this is your second year at Southern University, which I'm going to say knowing your dream head coaching job. So you got that there. What's it been like for you now, going into year 2 being the head coach at the school you love so much?
It's been a blessing. It's been great. God has really blessed me to have this opportunity, that I don't take it lightly. The board of supervisors, the president, the chancellor, the AD, the administration has done a great job of giving me the things that I need in order to help these young men to be their best selves. And so when you have that kind of support, the sky's the limit. And I'm just so glad to have that opportunity to be the head coach at Southern.
Now, you gave a really PC answer, but I want to know what it's like when you're going to the Blue Store or Pyran's, just locally, what it's
Tiff's
like
gonna talk
for
about
you.
that food now.
I am.
Well,
no shame.
Well, Tiff, I don't usually go to the Blue Store. I go every blue moon. I'm a Chicken Shack man, and I'm a Buffalo Wild Wings. TJ Ribs, TJ Ribs, that
I like
type
TJ
of place.
Ribs.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, one thing about food now.
Simple.
Me and Tiff, we're going to do our homework on food now.
Okay.
And I people all over the country give me the hardest time because I say without question, the best tailgate in the HBCU landscape is at Southern University. Southern University tailgate, one, because the food is absolutely outstanding, and 2, it was a lesson I had to learn. You go to Southern for a tailgate, and you don't smell the food cooking like you do these other places because they stir in everything. They stir in gumbo. They stir in jambalaya. The steam is going into the atmosphere. So that being said, I can't let you talk to me about no Buffalo Wild Wings. Give me some of your favorite Cajun dishes down there at Southern University.
Well, I don't eat a lot of Cajun food. I'm from Virginia, so I eat that Southern. You got to understand, Cajun food, it goes, across the board. So I eat the red beans and rice, the fried chicken. I eat the ribs. Yeah, but that's not necessarily Cajun.
Well,
so
Cajun is Southern.
And then being from the East Coast, so I'm used to eating seafood. So it's not hard. But
now, one of Tiff's favorite dishes that she had that she discovered, and we're gonna put you on the spot here. She discovered this. We've only had it in Baton Rouge, and we're still looking for that guy. What did he serve us that time? That it had.
Was it gumbo and potato salad?
Gumbo and potato salad mix. You ever had that?
No.
Special.
I know
Special.
people that do it, but I haven't.
That's
had
awesome.
It.
It's awesome.
Let me tell you what's awesome and daunting. Your upcoming schedule for this season, right? It's going to be a mix of all types of contenders and opponents this season. But just looking at this stretch of schedule, Jay, I know you have your thoughts, but I want to hear first from you, Coach, about starting off the year in Atlanta for the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge against North Carolina Central.
It's a great opportunity to play against a great institution, great program. Coach Oliver and I are OCIAA guys, so he coached here at one time. So we're looking forward. You know, he does a great job with his program. We're looking forward to going to Atlanta and putting our best foot forward against a good MEAC opponent. Of course, our goal, you know, we always want to. Our goal is to start in Atlanta with a win and finish in Atlanta with a win. Those are the goals that we set for the program. And, you know, the games have to be played, but you have to have goals. And if you don't have goals to be the best, then why are you doing this? And so, you know, some people take that a lot of different ways, thinking it's arrogant, it's this, it's that. But, you know, we in this to win. So if you're not about winning, then why are you doing it?
Right. So it's drawn up for them. I mean, we look at Southern. We talked about the ats. Southern don't worry about the ats, the at game. They've got Alabama State at home, Jackson State, home, Prairie View, home, FAMU, home, Bethune-Cookman, home, Texas Southern, home, and then the neutral site game versus Grambling State. So the folks in Baton Rouge, they got to show up and show out for y'all this year because y'all got a good opportunity to make some noise at home.
It's a great schedule all together, but it's a great home schedule. We're looking forward to the Jaguar Nation coming out and selling the place out week in and week out. You know, it's no place like the Bluff when you're talking about football. So we're excited and looking forward to a great home schedule.
I'm looking forward to get some of that food down there, too.
I was just about to say, I'm not going to even lie. It's one of my favorite places to travel to because of the food and the atmosphere. And I'm just curious, Simone, you're standing by with a couple of hungry big football players who definitely work up an appetite week in and week out, day in and day out. Kelby Givens standing by along with Darren Morris. What are their thoughts on the eats around Baton Rouge?
Well, the way they look so slim and trim in these suits, it doesn't look like they're eating any of that food y'all are talking about. What do y'all think about those chicken and ribs Coach talking about?
Man, I love chicken and ribs. That's some of my favorite food, but I'm really more of a steak guy.
Yes, sir.
That protein.
Nah, for sure, you got to get that protein in there.
Right. What about you?
He's more of a steak guy. I'm more of a crawfish etouffee guy.
That's what I'm talking about. That's Southern University.
So that Creole.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I love it.
You have a go-to spot?
Oh, no, all of them. All of them good. I like it.
And y'all looking good in these suits. You going to break it down for us, Darren?
Oh, yeah. I got the gray on gray, the white, the black tie with the brown shoes. You know, some calm.
What about teammate?
You know, he got the gray on gray also, baby blue. The tie, the tie nice, and the shoes match.
I like the contrast. You went with the white shirt, he went with the blue, so all the colors of Southern being represented here.
Yes, ma'am.
When we talk about you, Kelby, you are the preseason Defensive Player of the Year. Congratulations. Does it feel sweeter now that you've won it back-to-back years?
It kind of does a little bit, but I know I just got to keep it level-headed. You know what I'm saying? Giving all glory to God who's the head of my life, but I know I just got to keep it level-headed. I got another season coming up above, so just keep it level-headed.
And you've consistently been a top performer in the SWAC. What kind of work do you have to put in to always show up on the field the way you do?
It's a lot of work, you know, off-season, in-season, whatever. You know, I know I got to get in extra because I know guys are working hard just like I am, so I know I got to get in that extra work for sure.
And what is it like being his teammate? Because he wins all these awards, he shows up on the field, but he's so humble and down to earth.
I'm happy for him. He's a God-fearing man. He always put God first. It's just a blessing to be on side of him, see him play on Saturdays, and I know the work he put in during practice throughout the week, and I know he just go ball out when the Saturday does come.
And you ball out as well, Darren. This offense last season, top 3 in receiving yards. How can y'all duplicate that and even take this offense to another level next season?
Just make those plays, make bigger plays, though. You know, everybody do their job, the receivers do their job, and the quarterback does their job, and everything just flows.
And Kelby, you were sitting here saying that y'all will be winning the SWAC this year. What excites you about the possibilities of this Southern team?
I just think we have a lot of guys who can just come together and play on one accord. Like Coach Gray says all the time, just do your 1-11. Don't try and do anybody else's job, just do your 1-11. So I think we got the right group of guys this year.
And you're coming into another year under Coach Graves. What are you excited about for this second season with him?
I'm excited about everything. We're starting in Atlanta, so we're finishing in Atlanta, so everything is going to be a blessing. It's going to be a great year for us.
And what's going to be the difference maker this year to finish that SWAC title game with a championship and make it back to Atlanta in December?
just consistency, staying consistent.
I like it. Enough said. Simple. Consistency. That's something we've seen from the Southern team.
I like that. See, Coach, I'm going to ask you about Givens. Got to ask you about him, but it seems like you've let the team know we get an opportunity, and we haven't seen it done yet, to start the season in Atlanta, and if you're good enough, you'll finish the season in the Cricket Celebration Bowl in Atlanta. So that's your mindset for the team.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. Now let's talk about Kelby Givens, one of the best players in all. What makes him special?
What makes Kelby special is Kelby works every single day to be better, and not just football, but as a man. And he's a strong man of faith. He wants to be an example for everyone around him, young people especially. He buys into what we preach, being great on the field, off the field, and in the community. And I tell the team, I said, if you guys want to be talked about like Kelby Givens, then you have to put the work in like Kelby Givens. Everything that he's received, he's earned. Nobody's given him anything. So hats off to him, and he's humble. He's a humble young man.
Kelby, come here. Come on up. Hurry up. Put you on the
well.
spot. I'm going to put you on the spot there. I mean, look, got to put him on the spot. First of all, and I want to be one of the first to congratulate you. You can go there, get behind your coach. Get behind your coach. Congratulations on being named not only SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, but being named FCS All-American, preseason All-American. So everybody in the HBCU community is pulling for you for that way there. But having the coach say the words to you about that, you got to share the microphone, Coach. What's it like for you to go out there and work and represent Southern University?
Well, it means a lot because I know, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than Coach Graves. My grandfather was a Hall of Famer at Southern University, so it just means a lot. You know what I'm saying? I've had multiple family members at Southern University, so it really means a lot.
And let me ask you this. In today's changing college landscape, hats off to you going back to Southern University. What played in that decision?
Well, like Coach Graves said, I'm a man of faith, and I felt like God was telling me to come back, so that was the biggest reason why.
Coach, I know that made you feel good when you saw he was coming back. You said, whoo, I can get a little bit more sleep tonight, huh?
No doubt about it.
Give him back the mic, Kelby. Good luck to you. We'll all be pulling. Y'all give Kelby Givens a round of applause for all he's accomplished this season there so far, and good luck to you this upcoming season.
All right. We love it. Could we see
I like
Kelby
to focus on the star power. And when you become an FCS All-American, that's nationwide, one of the best players there. I'm going to give him his flowers while he's there.
Absolutely.
Now, if he misses a tackle, I'm going to talk about him.
Right.
But,
No. Fair enough. But could Kelby Givens follow in line with what we saw last year in Carson Vincent going his 4 years through an HBCU and potentially getting drafted? We certainly hope the best for Kelby Givens. And speaking of Carson Vincent, his former team, Alabama A&M, coming up on the other side of the break. We appreciate the Southern Jaguars for being in the building. Coach Terrence Graves, Darren Morris, and Kelby Givens. We appreciate the time. We'll hear from the New Day in Normal, Sam Shade, and the Alabama A&M Bulldogs on the back here with you from the Sheraton here in Birmingham, known as the Magic City here in Alabama. And will the real Sam Shady
Sam Shady, yeah, you called him right here. Alabama A&M head coach Sam Shade. Sam Shade.
I know. I was a little play.
You took my words off of you. I called him Shady, but even Tip was like,
he's not shady, but it's just the play off of. Anyway, y'all get it. Sam Shade, the new head coach of Alabama A&M, no stranger, obviously, to these parts of Alabama. You've had wonderful success throughout your career at the high school level, the college level, and now you're looking to make things happen at Alabama A&M. What's in store for the Sam Shade era in Normal?
Well, first off, Tiffany and Jay, thank you guys for having me. Obviously, Jay and I go way back. But like you said, it's the Magic City. I'm actually from Birmingham, Alabama, right here. So very excited to be here representing Alabama A&M University. I'm truly blessed and honored to be in the position I'm in. And as far as what Alabama A&M is, what's in store for the fans? Well, it's going to be an exciting brand of football. our guys are going to play hard for 4 quarters, offensively, defensively, and special teams. And, people talk about, scoring a lot of points or doing it this way. We're just trying to win games, bottom line. However we've got to win them. If we just win by 1 point, it's a W, in the score column.
When you think about, I'm sitting there thinking, and congratulations on getting the job right there. Obviously, you love Birmingham, and you're up the road to Alabama A&M. Do you ever think about, man, you're going to coach at the Classic? It's one thing, to go to the Classic. You get to coach at the Classic, Legion Field Stadium that you've been knowing about. Have you started thinking about that yet?
I really hadn't. I've been really busy, my coaching staff, myself, and all of our support staff working towards having a good season this year. Hadn't thought about it, but you just made me think about it as a guy that grew up going to the Magic City Classic each and every year until I went to college, and having family members on both sides of that rivalry. So yes, that's going to be special.
Can I get some extra tickets now? Your ticket list is going to be full. So reality will start to sink in once those ticket requests come in for that game. You know that.
Absolutely, it
will. Give me a heads up. How many guys, and this is a question, how many guys are coming from Miles to Alabama A&M?
Well, so we've actually got 4 coaches that were on our staff at Miles last year that came over, but then there are actually 2 other coaches that were part of the Miles staff at different times that also came. So we've got a total of 6 coaches that.
Players. How many players you got? Don't try that. How many players are coming? It's only fair. When we're going to have, other coaches come up, like when we talked to Prairie View, they got a new coach came from Valdosta State. You got to know. And that's that trend because, Chennis Berry had the success at South Carolina State. So how many players approximately you think will come with you from Miles to Alabama A&M?
Well, we've had a total of actually 8 players. And, just like everybody else, there were a couple players that we thought were going to come, but they actually ended up going FBS to some pretty good programs. So, that says a lot about the work that we were able to do at Miles and developing the players that we had there.
If you had to take one guy that you're bringing with you that maybe the Alabama A&M folks don't know about, but you know about, that's coming with you, who would be that key guy that you think is going to make an impact this season?
Well, there are a couple of them actually on both sides of the ball. We've got a wide receiver, Frank Pierre, that came with us from Miles. He's a guy that brings a great work ethic, along with a tight end, Travonta Abner, who was actually at Miles with us also. Both of those guys are just guys that really work hard, and I think that work ethic is contagious when guys are working hard like that. So those are 2 guys for us that we're excited that they decided to come over.
In doing reading and research about just what your program is going to be about, I read a lot about the Chase.
Yes.
And for those who are not familiar with the Chase, do you mind sharing what that is?
Well, the Chase, it's an acronym, and it's actually DA and then Chase instead of THE. Because, I've learned in coaching that you've got to find ways to relate to your players a little bit more, because of some of the music they're listening to and things like that. And so I've taken that and making it an acronym. And so obviously the D, that's for discipline. That's one of the things that you've got to have. You've got to have team discipline. You've got to have self-discipline out of your players. So we're big on that. The A is for accountability. And you're not going to get anything done if you don't have guys that are accountable to themselves, to the team, to the university. So we're big there. And then the C is for character, the H is for habits, and the next A is for attitude. You got to have a great attitude, I think, in order to get things done. And then our players, the S is for sacrifice. And they understand in order to attain the goals that they have for themselves, that they've got to sacrifice. They've got to make some sacrifices in their life.
Let me guess. The E, effort.
That's a good one, but it's actually excellence. It's excellence.
Excellence.
Okay. And I look at that and say, the Chase. That's something that I've lived by since I was a player. Jay, yourself playing in the NFL, that was one of the things that you always had to be trying to get better, trying to improve. And I've taken that to coaching. And I talk about we're always chasing something. Players are chasing good grades, degrees. They're chasing excellence on the field. They're chasing championships. And so that's what we're always doing.
And then who have been some of your mentors in coaching? Guys that are responsible for getting you to where you are today.
Well, there have been many, starting with my high school coach, the late Ronald Cheatham, right here in Birmingham, Alabama. He actually went to high school about 2 miles from where we are now at Phillips High School. I owe a lot to him. He's a guy that obviously played college football. He actually coached in the SWAC for a while. He coached at Southern University for a while before he came back to Birmingham. And he was always a mentor. When I got into college coaching, he talked about the things to expect, dealing with players, things like that. And, I really thank him for that. And then obviously there are coaches along the way, Coach Stallings at the University of Alabama, who just instilled in us a lot of things that myself and my teammates have carried on into life up to this point. And, I can keep going. There's some guys in pro ball that I can name. Marvin Lewis is a mentor of mine. I actually had a chance to play for him when he was a defensive coordinator before he got the Cincinnati job. And, there's just a number of guys that have been instrumental.
Name dropping all day. I got you.
There are a number of guys.
All right, let's take a look at the schedule because, Jay talked about you coming back here home.
October 25th.
The Magic City Classic, but there are obviously a litany of games prior to then that you're caring about.
October 25th.
Is against an FBS opponent.
October 25th.
Arkansas. But again, I always like to ask, outside of the most important game is the first game, the next game, and that's what we do, one game at a time. But can you look at a stretch or a particular month that you feel like will be more important? Obviously, you get into SWAC play towards the end of September. What stretch of the schedule maybe concerns you the most or are you keying in on?
Tiffany, I can tell you, this is not coach talk, but the start of our schedule, we open up with an SEC school. We're going to find out about each and every player on our roster. We're going to find out what we are offensively, defensively, special teams. So that's actually a good way for us to start it off. And then, we come back the next week. We play Alcorn at home, really good football team, well coached. So that's a game that, we want to get off to a good start at home, so that's going to be a pivotal game. The next week we'll actually go up to Tennessee State and face Coach Reggie Barlow and those guys. So those first 3 games to me are that's the stretch for us. We're going to find out a lot about our football team.
He says he's giving himself a little bit of runway before he worries about the end of October, Jay.
I mean, you see, that's why the coaches do it. That's my job, right? I say October 25th because we all know what that means. That's the Magic City Classic. That date is circled. But from October 25th on, see, the problem with A&M has been they can go win that Classic, but then they don't maintain. They lose. There's such a letdown, so you got to challenge your fan base there. So think about it. They play Alabama State, right? Then they got to go to Grambling. They got to play Prairie View. You don't know what Prairie View is going to bring to the table. Florida A&M, and then Texas Southern. So the key is how do they finish? The schedule's kind of favorable in terms of the teams they're going to play, but after that Magic City Classic, you never know what's going to happen at A&M. So that's why I say, I wasn't joking. I love that game, but October 25th means so much for both those schools, but it's not there. It's like that's where the season really caps off.
Well, we still we feel like we've got a lot of work to do before we get to that point. And the biggest thing about this conference, I've said it for a long time. When I've coached at other places, I feel like the SWAC is the top football conference in the country in the FCS. I really strongly believe that. The coaches, I've known a lot of these coaches and gotten to know some over the years, and there's really good coaching and there's great players in this conference.
Speaking of great players, Simone Stanley standing by with linebacker Demetrius Biambi along with quarterback Cornelius Brown IV, and I would love to hear their thoughts first on what it's like to be with their new head coach.
Yeah, so I was writing down the truth, and Cornelius is like, it's the truth. So they're definitely listening. They're definitely keyed in. What is exciting about this Coach Shade era?
Well, we came in, when Coach Shade came in, there was a coaching switch, and we went from offensive mindset more to a defensive mindset, and that kind of brought fire to the other side of the football. And, man, they brought the spunk, man. They brought the juice from him to Coach Shell to Coach McCoy to Coach all the defensive staff, man. They brought the juice to it, and we were pumped up for this season, man. Being coached by them, they teaching us a lot, and
were able to become better by underneath their coaching staff.
I like it. Exciting. And Cornelius, Miles College was only about an hour and 20 minutes away from Alabama A&M, so you've been able to follow Coach Shade and some of his players. What excites you about this new era now that he's in town?
Well, I've known Coach Shea for a long time. You know, he's from where my father and I and my family and I are from, West End in Birmingham, Alabama. So it's great to be back in the home city. I mean, he's like he said, man, he's brought a really culture change to Alabama A&M, to the Hill. You know, he's got the championship pedigree, won the championship down at Miles. He's known in the state of Alabama for being a winner. He has a great reputation, and he has a great coaching staff that he brought along with him. And I think the culture and the intensity and the focus, and more importantly, the love for the game and the genuine love that he has for us in the short time that we've been with him has been evident. And he brought some pretty good players with him. Frank Pierre came from Miles College. He's steady, plays each and every play like it's his last play, plays receiver. Trevante Abner, we call him Sneaky Trey. He's sneaky athletic. He can play inside of the box. He can also run vertical, and he's effective in the run game and the pass game. And we've just got a lot of talent. Coach has brought a culture change into Alabama A&M onto the Hill, and I think it's something that's going to be the winning recipe for us this fall.
I like it. You got me excited. You know the whole roster already. It's only July. So you threw for over 1,500 yards last season. How can this offense continue to be explosive now that you add those new weapons that you just named?
Well, I mean, I faced a lot of adversity last year, in and out of the lineup, kind of working against the injury. So, you know, I'm excited to have an opportunity to play all 14 games this year, 14 games including the Celebration Bowl, including the SWAC Championship. So just being consistent and being that same guy each and every day for my teammates and for my team is something that I'm excited about. But like I said, we just got so many weapons. Duke Miller, we got Trevante Abner, Donovan Wright, he stepped up big for us late in the season last year. Frank Pierre, we got Ryan Morrow coming back, great offensive line. Taquez Richardson at left tackle. At center, Elias Cloy. It'll be his second year. You know, he's kind of growing into his own. Tyrell Lawrence will be a big factor for us. He was a preseason all-conference selection. Bobby, he plays left guard. He's doing a great job and has taken leaps and strides as far as his development in the weight room and on the field. We got competition at right tackle between Big O and Bulldog. Bruce Crenshaw, I'm calling a lot of them by nicknames. But, I mean, we got talent all over that field, and those guys make my job easy. You know, all I have to do is do my job and make the routine play. I don't have to do anything special to be special, and it's comforting knowing I have an offensive staff and a coaching staff that believes in me, and I'm excited to, you know, just go do my job and let the chips fall where they should.
So I want to know, what's y'all's nicknames then?
My nickname is Quad, Dime, you know, either one. Cornelius around the fourth. I wear number 10, so that's where you get the quad from, and Dime is from my number, so that's me.
And Demetrius, you got a nickname? Seems like everybody on the team has one.
Yeah, man. So since a child, I've been called Debo, but I done had all type of nicknames with the long curly hair I got. I heard Maui, Moana, Tarzan, the superhero Aquaman. They heard it all. The wrestler, WWE wrestler, Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. I was thinking Roman Reigns.
But all people like in positions of power. It's all strong nicknames.
Yeah, that's how I carry myself. So yeah.
Except for Debo. I don't know where that came from.
So Debo, I was a little bit of a bully when I was a kid. So and I used to take when I was probably about like 2 years old. There's a picture, baby picture of me next to my cousin, and it shows me taking her pacifier and stealing it from her a little bit.
Oh, so that's why you play defense, because you can play bully ball. You know, you can be mean.
Yeah, that's how I carry myself on the field, man. I like to inflict pain a little bit on the other side of the ball. So that's how I play.
You talk about Sam Shade bringing that defensive mindset to the team. What excites you about that side of the ball this year?
New defense, and the way we run our defense, they allow us to be explosive. They allow us to make plays and not be robotic necessarily, but allow us to play in our own comfort, and that way we're able to feel the field and feel what the offense is doing and make plays off it. And man, they bring a dog mentality. Coach Shelling, the defensive coordinator, he every practice before we start, he's yelling at Africa, and we got to repeat it. So we say Africa, he says Africa, we at Africa back, because we're always chasing something. We're lying on a hunt. So every time we come out on the field, we on Africa. Every day is Africa. We always hunting for something. What's the next prey to meal on? So yeah.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like they're fully bought in and invested in this Coach Shade era.
Right. I think if we'd have let Quad Brown keep talking, he'd have told us who the kicker was, the punter, and all that stuff there. But he's been seasoned around, and beyond be fantastic sideline to sideline guy. And I think the interesting thing to me about Alabama A&M, like the offense was going to score points. You know, that was the previous coach that was there. He was going to put points on the defense was sometimes optional. Now, one thing I know about Sam Shade, he's going to play some defense. Defensive coaches are going to have that mindset. I know Biombi's got to be very excited about that.
Well, you're right, Jay. We're definitely going to play defense, but we plan on scoring a lot of points. We've got a senior quarterback over there in Quad Brown that's played a lot of football, and obviously, as you see, he's got a lot of knowledge. You can see the leadership just by him being able to name off all the guys that we have, the linemen, the receivers, the tight ends, and things like that. So we want to get everybody involved in what we do offensively, and then we're going to be big on special teams. That's an area where I feel like you can win some ball games, and I've always been big in the special teams.
Pressure defense or zone defense? Don't tell me both, man. I know.
Well, we've got some versatility, Jay, but obviously we're going to get after it. We're going to get after some people, and we're going to put some pressure on some folks.
You got some guys that can cover. That's what I want to know. I got to figure out. You got some guys that can cover on the back end.
Coach Sam Shade, we appreciate your time, along with Quad Brown, Demetrius Biombi, and the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. We look forward to seeing what you all have in store for us this upcoming season.
See you October 25th.
All right, go Bulldogs.
We'll be back with more here. Thanks for staying with us as we're back here for the 2025 SWAC Football Media Day, brought to you by Pepsi, and the G-Men have entered the building on stage. Mickey Joseph, the head coach of the Grambling State Tigers. Right next to him is that Celebration Bowl trophy. Remember, it was the Tigers was the first team out of the SWAC to win it back in 2017. An opportunity to three-peat for the conference. The question is, Coach Joseph, what's going to make it, or what do you have to do to be in contention to try to vie for that SWAC that Celebration Bowl championship trophy?
Well, I think you got to play team ball. I think you got to win in all three phases. I think your administration has got to be in full support of what you're trying to do with your football team, and we are. But I think that at the end of the day, it's going to come down to organization, being organized, and being able to take the classroom to the field. And so that's what we're trying to get better at.
From year one to year two, I guess, lessons learned or biggest adjustments that were made for you?
I knew you was going to ask that, so I've been practicing that all week. Awareness. Like I said, awareness. We're aware of what's going on around us. We're aware of how we need to prepare. We are, for its practice, for its meetings. Just the awareness part is up, and it's back to one family, one legacy. And that's what Grambling has to become. One family, one legacy.
That Grand Fam is real down there. But looking, when I look at Grambling, obviously the world's most popular HBCU football program. When y'all start winning, people, they hop on the bandwagon quick. And it seemed like I was getting calls all over the country. This is the year Grambling, this is the year Grambling. Didn't finish well.
No, it didn't.
What happened?
Well, you lost some tough games. You lost some tight ones. And, and that's on a 5-7 record, I have to own it, and that's the first thing I had to do at the end of the season. It's look in the mirror and say, okay, evaluate myself. What did I do wrong? What do I have to do? What I have to do to win these close games? So I had to evaluate the things, how I did things. So I had to evaluate the way we meet, the way we practice, who was coaching these kids, what these kids eat. I had to be more involved in that, and one thing I had to become a better administrator, because here you got to understand administration duties. I didn't have to do that in Nebraska. I haven't seen Ed Orgeron do anything at LSU like that, but I had to do that, so I had to accept that. So once I accepted that and said, this is what I need to do, so let me fix some things. And, if elevation comes with separation sometimes. So we had to separate from some things. And we did. So I think we're a better football team right now. We're a better staff right now. And we're looking forward to the season.
When you say fix some things, okay, that means some changes come. What are some of the things you had to fix, football-wise?
First thing we had to fix the offense, because I thought the defense played lights out. I thought the defense numbers were there. When you look at the offensive numbers, it wasn't there. So this year, we are going to run the ball a little bit more. We are going to come in the game trying to make sure we establish a run game. The philosophy before, and I was part of that philosophy before, was let's throw it to run it. Now it's going to be to run it, to run it.
Run first.
To run it.
To run it.
To run it.
So you're not going back to the Eddie Robinson wing T.
If I have to, we got to do what we got to do to win. So we're going to hand this thing off and see what happens.
You had some new pieces, though, on offense with a couple of transfers. I think T-Set comes over from Southern at quarterback. You got the coldest name ever, by the way.
The coldest.
Yeah, the coldest for sure. But so how do you plan to utilize some of those offensive weapons? Because, like you said, defense already intact.
Well, first thing, they need to do what I ask them to do. And everybody needs to play their role. Everybody needs to do their part. And part of our slogan this year also is do your job. Everybody needs to do their job. I thought T-Set had a great spring. So did Ashton Fry. They both had great summers. So now we just got to figure out how we're going to play these guys. If we're going to play one or if we're going to play two. And we're going to decide. We're going to decide because at the end of the day, it's competition throughout the building. But we know right now we have to play multiple players at every position.
In terms of looking at the schedule, I mean, very favorable because you've got 6 games in the state of Louisiana. Obviously, one of the big games that everyone is talking about is that Las Vegas Classic in October against Jackson State. So when you look at this schedule, there are a lot of different games that jump off the page. Just in terms of the way that it's structured, what are your thoughts on your schedule?
Well, I just want to tell TC, if he wanted to hang out, we didn't have to go hang out in Vegas. We could have went to Jamaica. We make enough money. But no, it's going to be a great game in Vegas. Our athletic directors did a great job of putting their heads together and making this game happen. It's a great stage. You couldn't ask for a better opponent with Jackson State with the following that they're going to have. I think it's like the first game in Vegas. It's the first classic, so it might be a start of something. It might be a start of something, but we're excited.
How about September 6th? That kind of jumps out at me. Going to the Ohio State University. What brought that about? What's your thought process on that?
Well, anytime you play up like that, we under the it's a financial obligation. So we're going to get a pretty good payday, but it's you take your hat off because they're the defending national champs. But we're going to prepare for them like we prepare for anybody else. But we understand what we're getting into with 105 scholarships compared to 63 scholarships. We understand what it's going to be like. But at the end of the day, we still have to prepare, and the ball's still going to kick off. And I don't think the coach from Ohio State is going to ask me how I'm doing with 63 scholarships. We got to go in there ready to prepare to play a great game. You have to play over your head to win a game like that.
And my partner Tip there, she mentioned you got the games there in Louisiana, but it's those neutral site games. Prairie View at Dallas, that's a big one because that's a West game right there. And then you're going to play Jackson State in Vegas and then New Orleans. That's it. That's neutral. That's the big one there. So it'll be interesting to see how the G-men do during those neutral site games. They're going to have a lot to say what they're going to do for the rest of the season.
I'll tell you a couple of players who have a lot to say standing by. Nick Howard, wide receiver, along with Blake Davis, the defensive back for the Tigers. They're with Simone Stanley in the players' corner.
Yeah, and the vibe here has been very chill. They came in these all-black suits, and they're definitely coming with that dark, calm vibe. How are y'all feeling today?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. How you feeling?
I'm feeling awesome. How are you?
I'm good. So Coach was talking a lot about awareness and playing team ball. What does that look like on the field?
That means playing as one, gelling together, having team chemistry, discipline, and going in one direction.
And Blake, you earned SWAC preseason second-team honors. Congrats. What does that honor mean to you?
It means a lot, but I'm forever humble. I feel like I can always do more. So, I'm striving to be the best I can be every day.
Yeah, and you have another opportunity this season. Both of y'all are coming into your second year with the Graham fam. What are y'all excited about for year 2?
Very excited to, take over, set our dominance in the SWAC, show people that we're, a great team, that we're disciplined, that we're just all out a good team.
What about you? What are you looking forward to year 2?
Really to see the difference between year 1, see how much we've grown, see how much we've gotten better, on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom, it doesn't matter, just to see how much we've gotten better.
It's all about that growth and some change. Coach talked a lot about this being a run-first offense next year. How would that set things up for you and open things up for other wide receivers in the passing game?
First, establishing the run, getting the ball on the ground. We got great backs. That opens us up because, we have to take shots in certain times when we get certain coverages, so that's just going to only help us out.
Absolutely, and Coach also said he believed the defense played lights out last season. How can y'all build upon that this year?
Just keep the momentum going. It's that simple, just build off what we was doing the last game, and just keep it pushing.
All right, and we talked a little bit about the preseason predictions earlier in the show. Grambling was predicted to finish 5th. Do you feel like y'all are coming to the season as underdogs?
We always feel like that, you know. Like Coach said earlier, everybody thinks that we're that Super Bowl, so we have to give it to them. We're going to get their best shot, so we have to come in prepared and understand that, you know, we have to play.
When you have that G on your helmet, everybody going to have a target on your back, absolutely. But we can't wait to see what this looks like, that defense, this new offense. Tiffany?
All right, thanks so much, Simone, and appreciate it, fellas, as well.
I'm curious, what do you think about the predicted order of finish? Y'all coming in 5th, projected 5th.
Well, at the end of the day, like I said, we had to own it. We finished 5 and 7, and a lot of people don't know what's in our building. We know what's in our building, but the best thing about this, Jay, is that we get to play all those teams. All those teams have to see us. So we understand that. People doing their job. We went 5 and 7. We don't deserve to be 1, 2, or 3. So that's where you ranked us. We accept it, but now they got to see us.
That's what you got to be excited about for this upcoming football season. They got to play it on the field. Coach Joseph, best of luck to you representing the G-Man, the world's most popular HBCU football program. And coming up on the rest of the show, we come back, the champs will be here, the Fighting TC Taylors of Jackson State University, the I Love on the other side.
This is a cold soup. That's the coldest soup.
That's the coldest soup.
No.
She
Hey y'all, welcome back. The champs are here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jackson State Tigers, the 2024 HBCU National Champions. Their head coach, TC Taylor, is in the building. And look, you already know what it's like to hoist that, right? Sitting right next to you. So
bring back memories looking at that.
Memories
right there.
Indeed, yes.
Not long ago.
Special time in that win back in December. What's it going to take to repeat?
The good thing about it, we got a good core of guys coming back off that held that trophy. You know, starting with our quarterback, those 2 young men over there, Jacoby and Morgan, the D lineman Jeremiah Williams. So, you know, in the summer work, and that's what they're doing right now. We've been at it for about a month and a half already, close to 100 guys on campus. And we talked about complacent. You know, we talked about being complacent and everything. And that same question you just asked, I asked them that, and, you know, and they said some things that they talked about, some things that we did last year, because we got to continue to be physical as a football team. They understand that part. And, you know, these new pieces we added. We got some new toys in the cupboard that we're excited about as well. So it's coming together, and the culture is, you know, set pretty good at Jackson State.
Your offense put up better than 35 points a game. Your defense held opponents to about 17 points per game. But for you, what do you feel like the strongest part of that team was?
You know, 23, you know, we weren't very good on special teams. We were really elite on special teams this past year, and I thought that played a big part. You talk about Travis Terrell, the returner. Anytime he touches the football, he's a big play waiting to happen. I used to get shocked when people kick to him, Jay. You know, I'm like, I know they're not going to kick to Travis Terrell that day. And then just those guys third on the depth chart that bought into special teams. I think when you're winning in all 3 phases of football games, you're going to be able to take home trophies like this.
Jay, and I feel like it's really impressive the fact that TCU were able to bring back so many of your weapons and important pieces.
Definitely. That's a great point. You know, talk about Jeremiah Williams, you know, and the landscape of, you know, the transfer portal. We're blessed to get him back, and that's a legacy guy. You know, he started, you know what it is, Jay. Congratulations on the Hall of Fame. You know, that was huge. I was there, proud in it. But I talk to him about that all the time. And here's a guy that started at Jackson State and going to finish his career at Jackson State. Jonas Fortillion is going to come back, the receiver. So we're excited about all those guys.
How did you do that? I want to cut you off, but how did you do that? I remember during the season, I mean, there was some talk, you're like, I know some guys are gone.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, some of them guys are still there.
Yeah.
What did you do to make them stay?
Well, the first thing first, you know, we got to, let me say, I'm going to be honest with you, we got a great collective over there with KC 1400. They do a good job with us over there, you know, helping these young men out and everything. But I talk to them it's more than just ball. You know, when you play ball, those great coaches, I was around James Big Daddy Carson, and Robert Hughes and everything, and they talk to me about life. You know, and that's what I talk to these guys. I talk to them about all the time. You know, come knock on my door and let's just talk what's going on besides football. And since I told them that, you look up, it's a line at my door waiting to just talk about life in general, you know, so they know I care about them genuinely.
And I wonder, you know, and maybe you can tell me, does the challenge of trying to repeat You know, if you lose that Celebration Bowl, then maybe some guys who couldn't get there kind of have that. But did you challenge them? I need you to come back so we try to get another one of these.
That was the whole conversation,
Okay.
you know. And then that's the part that kind of scared me about everything, because I was like, oh man, we won one. These guys are going to be looking for something else or moving on somewhere else. But no, they was excited about it. You know, they wanted to, like I said, they believed in the JSU brand. They believed in me as a head coach. And also these, their position coaches did a great job for them. You know, you talk about Collie James, who coached Jeremiah Williams, but now Aaron Jackson is taking over there, that was in the building. So, you know, all those pieces played a big role in that.
But you talk about, you know, you had a great run last year, but what have you done for me lately? And let's take a look at this schedule coming up for Jackson State and kind of get your thoughts on what stands out to you as a coach. We know August 30th is going to be the first game, is always so important. But looking at that schedule, but give me a glimpse of what you see as a head coach.
Starting with getting into October. Okay. You know, right there ending with September, you talk about that Southern game, but going into that Southern game from that stretch all the way to November 1st, it's going to be a storm.
Thank you.
It's gonna be
Thank you. I'm just going to say
it'll be a storm. That's going to be a challenging deal right there for us. So those are the ones, that's the meat of the schedule to me right there.
I'd say, you know, give your athletic director, Ashley, a good job of giving you some good games at home. Alabama State at home is going to be a big one there.
Yes.
And then Grambling as well. Yeah. But then that one, you know, still got to circle it. Although they're down, there's still some about, and it's just me or everybody, it's still that rivalry with Jackson State and FAMU that's still bubbling.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I'm looking at the two young men they brought over here today. Good-looking athletes, you know, they mirror us a lot. You know, we mirror them a lot. They the size, what you want them to look like as far as players, well-coached football team. And then here we are, we got to go down to Tallahassee. So you think about the week before. Let me paint a picture for you. So we'll go down there, we get the bye week, then we go to Las Vegas to play Grambling, you know, well-coached Mickey Joseph team. Then we got to turn around, change time zones, and shoot down to Tallahassee and play a great football team.
I'm just thinking, that's the first time Jackson State, since they've been in the SWAC, first time Jackson State has been to Tallahassee.
I think
y'all
so.
always playing them in neutral site down there in Miami.
The Orange Blossom Classic and stuff like that. Right. So that's going to be a great atmosphere down there. So and we all know, like, that games mean a lot for the East. You know, that means a lot for the East, and they're chopping it a bit at the bit as well, because, you know, they came to the VIT last year, and, you know, we did some good stuff in that game. What an exciting football game.
We called that game. It was a close game,
right?
And it was the fourth quarter, and it was just the defense.
It was anybody's game. You know, you take True Thompson makes a great play, sacks, and Phillip Webb picks it up and score, and then come back and force another turnover. So great job by the defense.
All right, so we know about the defense. We're going to hear from Jeremiah Williams in just a moment, but just your thoughts on Jacobian Morgan, the preseason Offensive Player of the Year, and just what he has grown to be, and now QB1 for the second year in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I just recruited him out of high school. I know his journey. You know, he goes to Syracuse, comes back to me in 23, and he's just been steady, what we call getting it out of the mud. You know, he's persevered through so much, and now I think people are going to see his best football this year. The reason I say that, last year we had a run-first mentality because we had Irv Mulligan. You know, now we got to give Jacobian Morgan the football and say, go win it, you know. But we've done a great job putting great pieces around him as a player and everything. So he's poised and ready for this. The number one thing I tell him, Jay, you know, as quarterback, teammates got to believe in you, baby. You know, and they believe in him. You know, he went out there and got it done last year. Started the first game last year, and we were still trying to figure some things out. We played Cam McCoy a little bit earlier, but he took over the reins and got us across the, you know, the finish line. So I can't say enough about him and his growth. I think people are going to see his best football this year.
Absolutely. You know, and I would say one of the best moments I saw was, you know, you talking to him in that SWAC championship, settle him down, getting eye to eye with that. But enough about the coach. Let's hear from the players. Simone, talk to me.
Yes, I am joined by the champs, the man we just talking about, Jacoby. And how did it feel to hear Coach talking about you like that?
Man, that's my guy. I love Coach to death, and I know he's going to speak well of me every time. So, Coach, I love you.
Love you too, brother.
We love that love. So how did it feel walking in the building today as the HBCU national champs?
Oh, man, I got jitters, man. It's just the love and respect everybody got for us, man, and we respect them also, man. It's just the chemistry of everybody, so I like that.
Were your shoulders rolled back a little higher, Jacoby?
Yeah, a little bit. But, you know, that's behind us, and we're ready for this year.
Can we still see the ring? It's still a little celebration going on now. Got the ring. Nice. And you don't have your ring on.
Oh, the ring at home.
You said new season?
New season, new thing.
And this season, you are the preseason Offensive Player of the Year. Congratulations, and how does it feel to be recognized by the conference?
It feels amazing. First, I want to give glory to God. You know, He gave me instill this talent into me. But yeah, though, it feels amazing. You know, it just shows off the hard work you did last year. But you know, at the end of the year, we're looking for that postseason awards. But I'm not much of a awards guy, more of a team player. So as long as we get to December, I'm fine.
And I know you probably have the same sentiment, but I still want to give you your things. Preseason first team honors. What does that mean to you?
Oh, man, it means a lot, man. The guys behind me, the fans, the coaches, man, they all push me every day. And it's a blessing to keep playing this game every day, you know. Like Jacoby said, give glory to God. Man, it's special, man. It's special, and we trying to get to the end of the season and do it again.
And Coach was saying, you know, there was a possibility he could have lost you to the portal, but you wanted to stay at Jackson. Why was it important for you to finish your career there?
Oh, man, the culture, man. I seen when everything got started, man. I was blessed to even see everything. And Coach, man, he led me, man. He believed in me, so I stayed with him, man. I'm gonna finish this thing through.
And y'all are talking a lot about, you know, December. That's a long time ago. It's over with. Y'all are focused on the new season. How are y'all able to put those celebrations behind and lock in on this new year?
We know we're the targeted ones. So, you know, we're going from the hunter to the hunted, you know. But that's just what comes when you put these blue and whites on. So, you know, you put that behind and you just grind each and every day to go get back to December. Absolutely.
And what did you learn from that championship run that's going to be important this year?
Just work harder, man. Just work hard. They're going to be harder than next year. We put that year behind us, man. Just the dedication and hard work, man, it increases. So we getting everybody on track and ready to repeat.
I like it. And
Jeremiah, Jacobian told me he would throw for 400 yards on y'all. What you say about that?
I ain't see it.
He know we coming. He know the D-line coming.
Jeremiah, I seen you play. You definitely coming.
Yes,
definitely coming.
Yes. And Jeremiah, you talk about this defense. It was lights out last season, but how can y'all turn it up another notch this year?
Oh, man, just push each other in practice every day. Practice like we're playing the game every day. And how you practice is how you play. And we push each other and just we know what's on our mind. Championship, man. We just keep going.
And I do want to ask you, Jacoby, you know, it's a different offense. Coach talked about it up there. You do lose the top rusher in the SWAC and Irv Mulligan. How does your mindset change and adapt to that this year, knowing it might be more on you and your arm?
Which is fine. You know, you got losing Irv Mulligan is a big loss. But you got the new transfers. You got guys that's been experienced and played, you know, the ball. So I'm perfectly fine with it. You know, this is what you want as a quarterback, to have the ball in your hands at the last minute. So I'm fine with it. I know Coach believes in him, and I also believe in myself.
Man, that's a good answer. That's a good answer right there, T. So you know what it is.
That's a great job.
Come up in your senior year, you lose a running back. Coach, give it to me.
Give him the
That's
ball.
more for me to hear.
That's what a quarterback want to hear, right?
That's what I want to hear right there. Good answer. You know, he's Jacoby. My middle name Jacoby.
Okay.
So you know, maybe we got a Jacobian thing going right there. That's a good answer there.
Awesome.
Fantastic to hear from both Jacoby and the preseason Offensive Player of the Year and their first team selection in Jeremiah Williams, along with T.C. Taylor, the head coach of the reigning HBCU champion Jackson State Tigers. Congratulations and
Thank
good
you.
luck for another great season.
I appreciate it. I look forward to it, man. I appreciate what y'all guys do, too.
To beat the man, you got to beat the man.
There you go.
But once you beat the man, the hardest part is?
What's that?
Staying the man.
We'll see. We're looking forward to it, though. I'm excited about these new pieces we got in the cupboard, though.
Prairie View A&M, the Panthers, coming up on the other side. Brought to you by Pepsi. Thanks for staying with us. We keep it moving, folks. And look, hailing from the state of Texas, Prairie View A&M, the Panthers are in the building, and their new head coach. Shining new
Got
and
that
bright.
shine on him, man. He got that shine.
Tremaine Jackson, the lead man for the Panthers, and just what this has been like since being hired in January to now. What's this whirlwind been like for you?
Yeah, it has been a whirlwind. We went on vacation 2 weeks ago and realized as a staff that we've been doing this since August. We played all the way through, got this job, and been running. But so grateful to my staff, man, because they really been working. And when we got that little breather, we needed it. And so
you come over from Valdosta State, having success there, the Gulf South Coast champions, as well as bringing a number of people with you. In all, how many would you say come over from your coaching staff as well as players?
Yeah, we brought 7 coaches with us. We don't tell people how many players we
Nah,
brought.
man, we gonna get approximately
approximately a few.
And so we brought some guys with us that could really help us implement the program at a high level early. I learned that coming to Valdosta, that you need to be able to lay the groundwork early. The coaching staff was phenomenal in coming with me because I didn't know they had some options, but they chose Prairie View A&M just like I did.
So give us one or two impact guys that you can talk about that came over with you that you know what they're bringing to the table, and the Prairie View fans and faithful need to get to know their names.
Now, Jay, you know I'm not going to do that.
You got to.
No, I don't
it's
have
for the fans.
Nobody has hit anybody of another jersey at Prairie View A&M, and so therefore I don't know who's the impact. The fans are going to tell us who the impact guys are.
Okay.
And the media is going to tell us who the impact guys are. When guys are making plays at a high level and you start calling their name, then those are the impact guys.
So looking at the film like all coaches do, what was the most important position you thought you had to address for Prairie View?
Yeah, we needed to address our lineman issue. We had a lineman issue, not just offensive or defensive line. We just didn't have enough linemen in the program. And then obviously at quarterback, we needed to figure out what we were going to do there. Without linemen, without a quarterback, you have no chance to be successful consistently.
What's it going to take? You talk about, I think you're fortunate. You take over a team that, had some good wins a season ago, but also couldn't stay consistent. What's it going to take for you all to kind of be like, you know what, Prairie View is going to make some noise in the West?
Yeah, consistency is lack of consistency is lack of discipline. And so we have to be a more disciplined football program all the way everywhere, not just on the field, but off the field. I think we're off to a good start with our GPA being the highest it's ever been. They've been playing football at Prairie View A&M since 1907. And for that to be the highest team GPA in a semester, I think we are off to a good start of being consistent.
When you talk about, Bubba McDowell is a defensive guy, and Prairie View can play some defense. Offensively is where I think they really struggle a lot now. What's your philosophy in terms of what side of the ball do you like to address the most, and how you going to put points on the board?
Yeah, in the 6 years that I've been a head coach, I've been able to be just that. I don't call the side of the ball. I stand in the middle of the 50-yard line and look both ways. I got really competent coordinators and really good coaches to get a plan together, and I've been really blessed in my career to be able to have good offenses and good defenses. And so we don't expect anything other than that at Prairie View A&M. I'm really excited about the direction of both sides of the ball, and including the special teams.
All right, looking at the schedule and just what to anticipate, is there anything that jumps out to you when you look at the schedule and the gauntlet that is?
Yeah, August 30th, we're going to go to 40 miles on down the road, and we're going to all have to find out what's up.
See, normally that's a football answer to coach, and the coaches talk about, well, the first one's this. No. He got a good point.
No, Prairie View A&M is in a unique situation. We open up with a divisional game, a conference game, in-town rival, and it's the fight for Houston. We make no qualms about that. Everybody knows what that is. And so August 30th, it's going to tell us a lot, but also for our program, it's the opening act for our program. And this is the era of football that we play. And so that day is very important for a lot of reasons, and we look forward to getting ready for it. But when you look throughout the schedule, we don't leave the state until October, which I'm very thankful to AD Golf for setting that up to where it made the travel a little easy. Because when you're new, you worry about your guys playing on the road and traveling and how we do certain things. And so being able to get comfortable in the way that we do some things before we hit the road in a major way is a big deal.
I'll tell you something that's unique about this, Tiffany. If you look at Prairie View, and I'm going to go on a limb, Coach, I don't want to hear this, but they got to get off to a good start. Because, they open up Texas Southern, that's a team from the West. Then they play Grambling in Dallas, that's a team from the West. Mm-hmm. Then they've got to play Alcorn and Southern. So the West for Prairie View could be done by, they can know the position they're in by middle of October, end of October. So that's something that I want to keep an eye on right there with that schedule there. They got to get off to a fast start.
And we're going to keep an eye on the players for you, Coach Jackson, as well as Simone Stanley. Yeah. We're going to chime in on who they are, but our Simone Stanley is standing by with a couple of Prairie View A&M Panther players.
Yes, I'm joined by tight end Trayvon Jones and D lineman Jamal Marshall. Fellas, thanks for being here.
Appreciate you having me.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, and I love these suits. It's standing out with the texture. I'm not sure if we can see it on camera, but it's like a waffle texture. And Trayvon, you had the specific material of this suit.
Oh, yeah. We go tribal wear. We go tribal on a suit.
I like it. So, Trayvon, you're coming from Northwestern, transferring to Prairie View. Why was this the perfect spot for you?
Honestly, when I was in the portal, I was talking to different coaches on the Prairie View staff, and I had some questions and they didn't have the answer to it. And instead of filling my head up, they told me that they didn't have the answers. and that's what I was looking for in the coaching program.
Honesty.
Honesty.
The best policy, coach, like that. And for you, Jamal, you're very familiar with Prairie View. This is your 6th and final season. What are you looking forward to this year?
I'm just looking forward to just having a great season and just winning football games. That's pretty much it.
And what is going to be different about this defense under Coach Jackson?
The 2-12 defense is very different. We're going to play fast, play hard. We're going to fly to the ball. We're going to make plays.
Doing all the little things.
Yes, ma'am.
And Trayvon, what has it been like getting to know your new teammates?
It's been real fun. You know, we've been having different outings and things like that. So getting to meet the group of guys that the coaching staff put together, they did a good job with that.
And right now, this team is predicted to finish 3rd in the West in the preseason predictions. What's your reaction when you see that?
I'm not really worried about predictions. You know what I'm saying? This is preseason. Just worried about the postseason. So they can say what they want to say. We just we'll let the talking do the play.
Yeah, just do it on the field. Same sentiment?
Yeah, definitely. With all due respect, they're not the ones suiting up and going to have to watch us come out that hill, you know, so we're going to handle business in due time.
Enough said. All due respect, Tiffany.
All right, we appreciate that. And Coach Jackson, when you think about just what you can say to everyone out there, Prairie View land, as well as the SWAC and HBCU as a whole, what's your message to them about what this Panther football team is going to do this season?
Yeah, I think we want everybody to hit Control Alt Delete on what was and take us for what we are right now moving forward. Just because you were don't mean you are. Just because you weren't don't mean you can't be. And so we want people to look at us and hold us for face value where we are now. We need our fans to come to the game, come in the game, stay for the whole game, and we need them to just buy into what we're doing. These young men are working extremely hard on a daily basis to put a great product out there, and when we come off that hill, everybody know what it's going to be.
A quick question for you before we let you go here, because Coach was a hot commodity. You know, had the success over at Valdosta. They were winning games in the postseason. Why Prairie View? Why did you decide, you could have gone a different place. Why did you want to become the head coach of Prairie View?
Yeah, Anton Goff. RAD, when I had the conversation with RAD, it was simple where we needed to be. A football player in his own right, a guy that understands where college football and college athletics is going today. And then we have a president, Dr. LeGrand, that put the cherry on top. And then when you get to the hill and you see what we have, and people always say when Prairie View get it right, you better watch out. When everybody upset because they got to watch out. And so Prairie View A&M got it right. I wanted to be a part of it. We strive every day to make sure we make that man happy, and the players understand where we're trying to go with this deal.
I like it. It's sold. Hey, look.
We've had a lot of coaches over the years talk about with Prairie View. They got one of the best stadiums out there. We can do this and that. Can they finally get it right? They're just trying to get a little better. So that's what we'll judge it by, if you get it right.
Yep.
And ultimately be down if they get the right hire. Best of luck to you, Coach.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for your time, Coach Jackson, Tremaine Jackson, and the Panther players.
Who's coming up next, Tiff?
So great to hear from them. And coming up next, we'll hear from the Rattlers of Florida A&M on the other side.
Homecoming, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rattlers of Florida A&M, hailing from Tallahassee, and their head coach, James Colsey, is right here with us on stage. And Coach, certainly delighted to be here with you. And I'm just curious to know, 7-5 record a season ago, and always a lot of high expectations on the highest of seven hills. Of course. How do you answer those questions from a season ago and meet those expectations from a fan base?
Well, first, always great to see you guys. Secondly, I think the best thing is you got to make the adjustments, the needed adjustments. You go through everything from last season. You look at where you need to make improvements, and you're watching games, and the trenches is something that we definitely needed to address. Throughout the year, not being able to run the football when we needed to, not being able to stop the run when we needed to. So, through our recruiting process, via the portal, via high school, we had to make sure we took care of the trenches, and I thought we did a very, very good job with that.
In terms of players that, you can kind of rely on, obviously Thad Franklin Jr. is one of them on the offensive side of things. What is the Rattler offense going to look like for you all?
Well, you talk to some of the coaches throughout the week, and, they were quite surprised with some of the guys that we did have coming back, right? And so, we'll have another 30 seniors that'll be graduating. But you got the Thad Franklins, the Bo Somersets, the Ashton Grables, the Ricky Taylors, the Charles Davis, the Goldie Lawrences. You know, we got a very, very good football team coming back. We did make some necessary additions on the offensive line and at the wide receiver spot on the offensive side, and so I'm happy with where we are offensively.
What was the biggest transition? You know, you had been around the program, obviously, but then Coach Simmons left and you become the head coach there. What has been the biggest transition that you had to learn about yourself, as well as what it's going to take to get the Rattlers back to those high expectations they expect?
Well, you know, you look at January 1 of 2024, and then you look again at January 1 of 2025, you know, where we were. You know, we had last year we were, you know, trying to figure out the transition and whatever the adjustments that we needed to make. Where this upcoming year, this January 1st, right, we're full throttle. We know what we needed to do. We know the adjustment that we needed to make. Well, you know, again, you know, you make the adjustments to the staff, right? I brought in a lot of guys that I've known and have worked with at countless places. Some I coached with, some played for me. So they directly understand the message. But, you know, just being able to hit it, you know, not giving any excuses, just making the proper changes and putting people in the right spots.
Give me 2 additions on the coaching staff that you expect to make an impact.
Wow, just 2? I mean, we went and got Kevin Maurice, Cedric Williams, right? 2 guys that have had a huge amount of success at North Carolina Central. You know, Cedric Williams is one of the best offensive line coaches, not just in HBCU, but in the country. Kevin Maurice was a guy that I actually recruited at FIU 20 to 25 years ago. So, you know, he was a guy that's known me for a very, very long time. I can't forget to say, you know, Ken Thompson, our new defensive coordinator, who's coming in from UAB, and, you know, he's had a lot of great success. And then obviously Chris St. John, who's my defensive end coach, he's a guy that's been around me for also 20 to 25 years. So I couldn't say 2. I apologize. I had to make sure I made mention to those guys.
You know what makes sense about that? You know, as we take a look at your schedule for the upcoming season, what makes sense about that, you know, now it's your team.
Yes,
so your identity. You had some people you had to carry on, but now this is going to be, you're going out with your guys.
Absolutely.
So I think that philosophy. Let's take a look at the schedule there. August 30th, we're going to talk about August 30th, little Celebration Bowl rematch from 2 years ago, as you all take on America's HBCU.
In some people's eyes, because it features America's HBCU, Florida A&M University, led by head coach James Colsey III. Coach, how would you summarize your schedule?
Well, you know, Miss Angela Suggs, you know, we had a great conversation early in the year about how we wanted our schedule to look. And, you know, I think the best answer is ask me after the season how this schedule is going to look. But you got some very, very good football teams we're going to play, obviously opening up against Howard. I think the biggest thing that does stand out for me is we got 3 games to start the season. Then we have our bye week. And then we got 9 straight after that, right? So we got to do a great job of making sure we take care of our team, but also getting them ready to play throughout the week, but then also making sure that we're at peak performance every Saturday. So great schedule. You know, we're playing 2 really, really good MEAC football teams. Albany State's always going to come in, and we're going to play, you know, with Coach Quinn Gray. They're going to come in and play hard. Playing a very, very good Florida Atlantic football team, and then
what about
8
that
teams.
stretch? What about that stretch? You're going to play Valley, you know, and give and take in Valley, you know. We'll see what they bring to the table. But
in Atlanta, too, as a Mercedes
in Atlanta,
State.
But how about this? Central, you know, Central's always going to be good, even though it's non-conference. That's going to be a game you got to win. Alcorn, Southern, Jackson State.
But we can't take any weeks off, you know, and our guys, you know, and I know everybody wants to go ahead, but for us, I think the most important thing is making sure we take care of August 30th.
All right. So here, you heard from Coach Colsey. Now we'll have an opportunity to hear from the players as well. Ashton Grable, who you heard Coach mention earlier, one of those important pieces along that offensive line, along with Davion Westmoreland, who's locking down things on the defensive end, standing by with our Simone Stanley.
Yeah, and they caught me off guard first because they're in the tan suits this year. The last couple of years, y'all been in the green blazers. Why the switch up this year?
You know, we want to come different this year, you know, new era, man. So I'm cream this time.
Cream. So what is this new mindset? You talked about a new era this year at FAMU. What's different?
We're just trying to get back to a championship level. We got to buy into what our coaches are trying to teach us and just get back to winning.
And when you talk about getting back to winning, what is that going to look like on the field? What will it take to get back to that Celebration Bowl?
You know, it's going to take hard work, man. We've been grinding since January. You know, I believe in my teammates and the coach, and I feel like they're preparing us very well to have an amazing season.
Absolutely, and Coach was just talking on stage about the trenches needing to step up this year. Both of y'all are leaders in your group. How can the defensive line and offensive line turn it up a notch?
We just need to be more consistent, just buy into what our coaches are preaching. We got a good O-line coach, Coach Williams. He harps on the small things. I just feel like if we just trust what he's teaching, we'll be okay.
And on the defensive line, how can y'all bring some more savage to that side of the ball?
Oh, yeah, we're going to bring a lot more pressure this year and just make our presence known.
And offensively, it's going to be a new guy under center this year. Whoever it is, how can this offensive line make sure he is successful?
Just give him a lot of time in the pocket, make him feel comfortable, open up lanes for the running backs to run, and that's all we can do. So, yeah.
Doing your job. So FAMU is predicted to finish second in the East this year. What's your reaction when you look at that?
We're going to accept the challenge. We're going to finish off top, of course, but, we're ready for it.
And Coach just chuckled a little bit. Why'd that make him laugh?
He's a funny guy, but, he understands where I'm coming from. We determined, we working.
Same thing?
Same thing. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. We're going to go out there and just work hard every day, just be respectful and honor our opponents and just play hard. That's all we can do.
I like it. Coach is listening and watching hard. Coach, you like what you hear from the players?
Absolutely.
All right, so the chuckle there, though, Simone noted the chuckle when asked about the second place finish in the SWAC East. Your thoughts on it?
Well, that's where I put us. You're based on everything as far as how you finished, the year before. But I think the expectations and the standard has been set over the years, right? Second place isn't good enough, and again, we talk about our schedule. We know what the expectations are. We talk about that every single day about what I expect from them, and then our fan base, what they expect from them as well. So, it's where we are. That's where we're starting. Hopefully that's not where we finish.
Grable's a really good offensive lineman. We know that. We've seen him perform over and over. QB1. Who's going to be QB1 for the Rattlers, or who are the candidates?
Well, we're in similar fashion last year, right? And everyone was trying to figure out who was going to replace Musa, and then obviously, Daniel Richardson comes in and does what he does, and but he ultimately had to graduate. So we brought in a young man, Tyler Jefferson, in January, who I thought did a very, very good job in the spring. But we got to have depth at that position. Then we were able to bring in Jet Petty, an All-American, who was coming from California, and then you bring a young man in, R.J. Johnson, who came in from Toledo. So I think I will say this: we will make a decision a little bit earlier than we did last year. But 3 to 4 really, really good options. But obviously, minus who the president is, the second most important position at Florida A&M is who that quarterback's going to be. So excited to find out who it's going to be. But we have capable young men that can fill that void.
All right, a lot of expectations, and certainly Coach Colsey and his crew are ready to fulfill them. Thank you so much, and thank you to the Rattlers of Florida A&M University.
Strike again.
That's exactly what they're going to do on August 30th down in Miami Gardens. All right, here we go. We'll be back with more.
What will it take to get back to the Celebration Bowl?
It's going to take hard work, man. We've been grinding since January. I believe in my teammates and the coach, and I feel like they're preparing us very well to have an amazing season.
Absolutely, and Coach was just talking on stage about the trenches needing to step up this year. Both of y'all are leaders in your group. How can the defensive line and offensive line turn it up a notch?
We just need to be more consistent, just buy into what our coaches are preaching. We got a good O-line coach, Coach Williams. He harps on the small things. I just feel like if we just trust what he's teaching, we'll be okay.
And on the defensive line, how can y'all bring some more savage to that side of the ball?
Oh, yeah, we're going to bring a lot more pressure this year and just make our presence known.
And offensively, it's going to be a new guy under center this year. Whoever it is, how can this offensive line make sure he is successful?
Just give him a lot of time in the pocket, make him feel comfortable, open up lanes for the running backs to run, and that's all we can do. So, yeah.
Doing your job. So FAMU is predicted to finish second in the East this year. What's your reaction when you look at that?
We're going to accept the challenge. We're going to finish off top, of course, but, we're ready for it.
And Coach just chuckled a little bit. Why'd that make him laugh?
He's a funny guy, but, he understands where I'm coming from. We determined, we working.
Same thing?
Same thing. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. We're going to go out there and just work hard every day, just be respectful and honor our opponents and just play hard. That's all we can do.
I like it. Coach is listening and watching hard. Coach, you like what you hear from the players?
Absolutely.
All right, so the chuckle there, though, Simone noted the chuckle when asked about the second place finish in the SWAC East. Your thoughts on it?
Well, that's where I put us. You're based on everything as far as how you finished, the year before. But I think the expectations and the standard has been set over the years, right? Second place isn't good enough, and again, we talk about our schedule. We know what the expectations are. We talk about that every single day about what I expect from them, and then our fan base, what they expect from them as well. So, it's where we are. That's where we're starting. Hopefully, that's not where we finish.
Grable's a really good offensive lineman. We know that. We've seen him perform over and over. QB1. Who's going to be QB1 for the Rattlers, or who are the candidates?
Well, we're in similar fashion last year, right? And everyone was trying to figure out who was going to replace Musa, and then obviously, Daniel Richardson comes in and does what he does, and but he ultimately had to graduate. So we brought in a young man, Tyler Jefferson, in January, who I thought did a very, very good job in the spring. But we got to have depth at that position. Then we were able to bring in, Jet Petty, an All-American, who was coming from California, and then you bring a young man in, R.J. Johnson, who came in from Toledo. So I think I will say this, we will make a decision a little bit earlier than we did last year. But 3 to 4 really, really good options. But obviously, minus who the president is, the second most important position at Florida A&M is who that quarterback's going to be. So excited to find out who it's going to be. But we have capable young men that can fill that void.
All right, a lot of expectations, and certainly Coach Colsey and his crew are ready to fulfill them. Thank you so much, and thank you to the Rattlers of Florida A&M University.
Strike again.
That's exactly what they're going to do on August 30th down in Miami Gardens. All right, here we go. We'll be back with more.
Thanks, guys.
Hey now, it's the Braves from Alcorn State ready to take the stage here at the 2025 SWAC Football Media Day presented by Pepsi. And with us now on stage, Cedric Thomas, the head coach of the Braves in his second season. And look, life on the reservation, you know exactly what it's like, but what does it take for the Braves to bring the entire fan base out back for potentially hosting a SWAC championship and a shot at that Celebration Bowl trophy?
Well, the biggest thing, Ted, we got to execute at a high level, but we also got to get a bigger product and a better product. We was a good little team last year, but when you look down the stretch, we kind of got pushed around by both of the champions, and even the Alabama State game down the stretch in the fourth quarter, we give up a big run where they just kind of mashed us. And so that's the biggest thing, when I at the end of the year, I go through and I look at the two champions roster, two deep, and I look at their height and weight, and we was 2 inches smaller and we was about 20 pounds lighter. So the coaches did an amazing job by hitting the road, and I just basically told them, hey, look, if they don't fit those measurables, then we can't play with them right now. I did my part the first year by letting a lot of guys stay inside the institution, but now it's year 2 where the biggest growth is, and that was the biggest thing I've seen outside of the X and O's was just really the Jimmys and Joes, as they said. And so we got bigger. You'll definitely see a bigger product, and we'll be a better football team.
I guess that would be by design because, I remember when Alcorn was rolling in the SWAC East, they were beating up on people. Y'all were down in the trenches beating up on people and the quarterback there. So you went out there and you got bigger by design?
Yes, by design. Because during that run, Jay, what was happening, wasn't no transfer portal. So you can keep a Sterling Shipping and all those guys for 3 and 4 years and you can develop them. But, right now you see a Malachi Bailey leave the room, with a year to play. And so we had to go find those cultural fixtures to be able to get the right now fix. And my first year, I wasn't going to come in and just deplete the whole roster, knowing that I may have to struggle to get guys in. So I kept the roster as is. We got a couple transfers, but we was just small in certain spots. And we small this year.
Any difference between, y'all made your runs to the Cricket Celebration Bowl in the East, but now playing in the West and have y'all had to figure out the West? Do you feel like you're in a position now where, we know what the West is all about. I think we have a game plan to get this thing done.
It really wasn't. It's not so much the side per se. It's just more so of the new landscape with NIL, transfer portal, and the developmental piece. When you think about that Alcorn run back in the day, those was 4-year guys, guys that stayed in the program, could develop and be able to get those guys, at a high level playing. Some guys played in the championship game 4 years in a row. But now you're talking about with the transfer portal, you develop them and then they may be gone. And then, we have no kids left on our roster of that of that championship run. And so we got to develop that mindset. We got coaches that done it, but we don't have any players that know what it looks like and know what it feels like down the stretch. Southern for homecoming, Grambling on the road, Jackson, whether home or away. And we got to establish that as a coaching staff, and that starts with me.
But now, give us a couple guys that people need to know and be aware of who are going to be difference makers on this Alcorn State football team besides the two gentlemen we're going to meet later on.
Well, Jarvis Rush, he's one. Chris Blair brought him to us directly. He's an Akron transfer, a 6'3" wide out that's long, very athletic. Nico Sandifer, a 6'4" wide out that's going to stretch the field vertically. We know we can run the football, and we will be able to run the football. But we got 8-9 boxes last year, and we wasn't efficient enough to throw the football. And I've been in this league all my life, and that's one of the components that, as a little kid, I came to see him throw the football around, and we'll be able to throw the football around.
Alma mater of Steve McNair. So who's going to be QB1 down at Alcorn?
We'll see. Right now we got Trey Lawrence and Jalen Tobert, a Howard transfer. They can sling it pretty good. And Andre Washington III to round out that competition. But
wide open competition at quarterback.
Yeah, right now. But the biggest thing this year from last year is we'll have some guys they can get the football to.
Peeking at this schedule for the upcoming season, we've asked every coach just to kind of give their thoughts. So how would you chime in on what you see for the Braves and the battles ahead?
The early test, not taking anything away from Northwestern State, they in that second year also. But you look at that Alabama A&M game, early. Coach Shade has done an amazing job when you look at his recruits and coming in from a Division II powerhouse that won a championship. That's one that kind of peak out. For us, it's a conference game mentality. And then, after that Lincoln game, when you got that stretch of, FAM, Mississippi Valley, Texas Southern, and Grambling, and then finishing up on 61, in Jackson, that's a stretch. And so I think our depth will help us be able to navigate through that and having a lot more players to be able to have us to finish a lot more of those games this year.
I like to simplify it. The key, you gotta win the SWAC West if you want to have an opportunity to play a championship game. Look at those last 3 games of the season. At Texas Southern, home against Southern, home against Grambling, and then earlier in the season, they're home versus Prairie View A&M. So if the reservation can get going down there and they can get those home victories right there, the Braves have an opportunity to compete for that SWAC West title. I think that's what I see when I see that schedule right there.
Jacorian Sewell, along with Gideon Spotsville, they have some thoughts about what this upcoming season will look like for the Braves, and we'll hear now from them as they're standing by with Simone.
Yes, we have some thoughts on these suits too. Nicely tailored, love the checks, cream with the purple tie with the pop. And you're going to break these suits down for us?
Yes, ma'am. We went with the khaki suit to really make the purple ties pop, with the handkerchief also purple, to get that business casual look, because it's foreshadowing about the season, basically.
So business casual with the suit, but then y'all got the off-work vibe with the shades on. Can we see y'all face for a minute? Yes, let them see y'all. Okay, so let's talk about this team a little bit. First of all, Jacorian, you received all SWAC first team honors. What did that mean to you?
I mean, very blessed, and it's nice to see that hard work really paid off, but honestly, I want to keep building on it.
Absolutely, and y'all can put the shades back on if it make y'all more comfortable. I just know Tiffany and Jay were probably going to be like, can we see those eyes for a minute?
Appreciate that, Simone.
So Coach was on the stage saying that y'all were locked in on the weight room. What has that off-season grind been like?
It's been something to look at, The guys in the weight room, they really getting the workout in, and Coach Ginn's been doing a good job on really pushing the guys, motivating them to really get through the workout, because it's the summer. If you're an athlete, you understand the summer is the summer. You're gonna work.
And he talked a lot about strength, pushing back this season. How many pounds y'all put on? Can we know?
I put on a good solid 10, no fat, just really build muscle, 10 solid pounds.
All muscle mass, yeah. What about you?
I put on 10 pounds too.
10 for 10.
Yeah.
I like it. So, Jacorian, you rushed for over 700 yards last season. How can this Alcorn team and you replicate such a productive run game?
Well, honestly, really don't want to get complacent, focus on our strengths and, really work on the weaknesses. But honestly, we want to keep grounding and pounding. We got some good recruits, from the spring and whatnot, so it should be a better year.
And how do you stay fresh, when you're putting your body through so much and you're so productive in a season?
Rest. Nutrition, rest. It's a little joke on the team. I call myself Unc because, after a certain time, I'm in the bed rubbing them feet together.
And now that you put on some pounds, I'm sure you can, break some more tackles this year, push some guys over?
That's right.
So you might go for 1K this year?
That's the plan.
I like it. And Gideon, You are a leader on this defensive side of the ball. What excites you when you look at that group?
Well, Coach bring in a lot of new guys, and like every new guy has their own technique and what they good at. So it's been exciting looking at them do the drills, things of that nature. It's gonna be a good year.
And what does rest look like for you? Are you rubbing feet too, or does it look like something different?
Nah, same thing. Like getting in the bed at a good time, stretching. What you put in your body is what you're gonna get out of it. So.
Absolutely, we see it. So Alcorn was predicted to finish second in the West. What was your reaction when you saw that?
I mean, I wasn't particularly happy, but it is what it is. It's only a prediction. We know what our goal is. We know we're trying to get to the Celebration Bowl. So it's really just fuel to the fire, honestly.
I like it. Well, I can't wait to see these extra strength from this Alcorn Braves team this year. Tiffany?
I appreciate the holistic approach that they take, too, and making sure that they feed their mind and their body and they rest, most importantly. Certainly got to get their rest up in time for the upcoming season. And Cedric Thomas, the head coach, will certainly have them ready. We'll look forward to seeing what the Braves show us out on the field. Gideon Spotsville, Jacorian Sewell, we appreciate your time and look forward to this year with the Braves.
Yes, ma'am.
Doom. Still say when they're rolling, one of the most intimidating road trips you can make in HBCU. They've got a course. When you see that schedule, there's a path there. Southern's the one predicted. Alcorn right there. They got those home games. If the reservation's rocking, the Braves may finally make some noise in the SWAC West.
Watch out. All right.
We're going to do that.
Close things out here from SWAC Football Media Day. It's the Alabama State Hornets waiting to take the stage. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Tiffany Green, Jay Walker back here with you. And we round out our 12 teams with Alabama State led by their head coach, Eddie Robinson Jr. And Coach.
Hey, Tiff. The elder statesman of SWAC coaches.
You did point that out.
The elder statesman of SWAC coaches.
4 seasons now at the helm at Alabama State.
Can't go figure, right? Who would have thought it would turn over that quick? One day they say you don't want to be the turkey at the top of the tree.
Yeah.
That's the first one to get shot, so I better watch out.
In terms of just the expectations and the excitement for this Alabama State football team, I mean, just what is in store? What have you seen during spring ball and over the summer that gets you excited about this group?
Yeah, the biggest thing for us, we just want to focus on physical and mental toughness. So that's what I'm trying to get my guys to understand there's going to be some adversity. I think the adversity we had last year, the biggest thing is nobody complained about it. Complaining is a sign of weakness. So go out there, be physically tough, mentally tough. And then the biggest thing for us is execute. We had some games down the stretch where we have to execute 4 to 8 good plays in a row perfectly. And I think if you can do that, it gives you a good chance to win.
Talk about some of the adversity. I mean, given the fact that you had to rotate a number of quarterbacks through. So kind of coming into fall, and I know you don't know for sure yet, but who's vying for that QB1 position?
Yeah, we have about 4 or 5 guys, and they're competing. I mean, it's a tough competition. The good thing is competition is going to bring out the best in all of them, and it's a healthy competition because they're pushing each other to get better. But like you said, last year, whenever you have multiple injuries at the same position, it's tough. Nonetheless, 4 quarterbacks getting hurt, 3 in the first 2 weeks, so that's tough, but it's part of it. But the good thing is my guys didn't complain. They just kept playing football. And then Kareem Key just stepped up and did a great job at the quarterback position the entire year.
Well, let me put you on the spot. So if Andrew Body is healthy, is he QB1?
He's a QP.
See, the more things change, the more they stay the same. See, like last year going into it. But I do think that was something big because he kind of seemed like he emerged in that game down in Miami before the injury, and it seemed like y'all were going to develop an identity. Have y'all found that offensive identity that you're looking for?
Yeah, well, I think the offensive line, being physical, running the football, I think that's where it all starts. But I think for us to make that next step, we have to be explosive. We have to have those 50 and 60-yard plays, the explosive plays. And the defense has to know that you have that threat that you can score at any time. And I think showing what Andrew Body did last year, I mean, he's an exciting guy. I mean, he's back healthy. He's working out with the team this summer. He's competing, able to throw the football, and he has a lot of confidence. I mean, that's one of those guys, you think about it, and we all play football. So the last 2 years, the first play of the first game of the year, he was out for the entire year. So just from a mental aspect, I have so much respect for him just to come back mentally and get his mind back into it and his body ready to play. So he'll be out there competing, and he'll be on the field at some point. I'm sure of that.
Now, looking last year, you came in and there was a lot of anticipation behind you all. Some people thought y'all were going to win it all. Didn't quite have the results that you wanted. What did your team learn from last season, and what can you carry into this season?
I think the biggest thing is that's a long season. It's going to be adversity. It's going to be some times that's going to be tough, whether it's during the game or during the season. You just have to keep playing. So it's a microcosm of life. And I tell the kids that sometimes life is not going to go the way you want. You won't get the job you want. Things won't work out the way you want, but you got to get up in the morning. Our motto is win today, and this is the beginning of a new day. So every day we know we wake up in the morning, regardless of what happened the day before, you got to go out there and be ready to compete.
And, you know, year 4, this is this team. That's when teams start to take on the identity of their coach. No surprise with this dude here. Came in defensive guy. Defense is going to be tight. Right. Offense, he's going to have him a dual threat quarterback because all defensive players hate those guys that can do both, and that's what he's doing. But as we take a look at the schedule you got coming for the upcoming season for Alabama State, anything stand out to you that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I think the biggest game is just the first one. You're going at UAB right across the street here in Birmingham. That'll be a tough game on a Thursday night. And going down to Southern, that was my first ever college football game, was playing at Southern. So we know it's a hostile environment. And just looking at it early on in the season, you got those Big East games with FAMU, Bethune-Cookman, Jackson State, Alabama A&M all in a row. So we'll know pretty early what we're about. And I think that's going to be good for us. We have a lot of young guys playing on defense. So we want to throw them in the fire and see what happens.
And speaking of defense, you have a new defensive coordinator with Ryan Lewis going over to UAB. And so Billy Gresham, very familiar with your system. Will there be any difference in the way that your defense looks?
Yeah, there'll be a couple of differences. He'll have his unique imprint on it. But Billy's a guy, I've been knowing him since he was a student athlete at Alabama State, all-conference linebacker, was a special teams coordinator. So the team is used to hearing his voice. So for him to make that next step to defensive coordinator, I'm excited to see him put his personal touches on the defense.
You know, and to follow up on that schedule, it's kind of unique, you know. One, you got to like your AD, Cable, who does a good job doing that. But, man, you got to play Miles, you got to play Tuskegee, them two in-state D2s that almost a no-win situation for Alabama State because people think you're supposed to win, but then they also don't know how good those programs can be on any given year. But then, for them, got to get off to a good start. You know, the SWAC East, they start off with Florida A&M, that's the East Division. They play Bethune-Cookman, that's the East. Jackson State, that's the East. And then Alabama A&M. So that stretch right there, going into the Magic City Classic, I'm going to look like we're going to know what type of team Alabama State has.
Well, that's the good thing. And so we're telling our guys right now, and the rest of the conference is too. So every coach is saying the same thing. You have to get off to a good start. And so we
got to.
Yeah, we got to. and we want to throw the first punch. I think the last couple of years we've been taking the punches and bouncing back and finishing strong. So this year, hey, let's get going. And so that's what we're going to have an emphasis on.
All right, we're going to get going over to the players' corner as Cameron Smith along with Keon Lewis is standing by with our Simone.
Yes, we're ending with a bang, and these suits, a great way to close it out with the black, the Alabama State ties. Can you break down this suit for us, Keon?
Yeah, so basically we have the black suit with the white polo button down, and we have the stinger with us. So we represent Alabama State colors and the tradition going on at Alabama State.
And it's perfectly tailored. Love it, looking great. So Keon, first team preseason honors, Cameron, second team honors. What did that recognition mean to you guys?
It's just a blessing to just get the honor for that. But I want to see that and go first team or just get All-American. That's just my goal.
What did that mean to you to get that recognition from the conference?
Well, it means a lot to me. You know, it's a blessing to be put on that stage and, you know, people recognizing my hard work. But it don't mean nothing unless you go out there and finish what you started. So I got to go out there and execute and get the job done and finish what they want me to be.
Absolutely. And we talk about this Alabama State team. Finished second in the East last season. What is it going to take this year to finish on top?
It's just like what he said, man. It's just off. It starts with offensive line. If the offensive line can be cohesive, we can do anything and everything. Last year we had 2,000 yards since 2019. We're going to try to exceed that all the time. So it starts with offense.
How have you seen the O-line group get stronger?
We just started hanging out more outside of football. I feel like that's the most important thing with those guys. I think that we are the only people coming with 4 returners coming back, and we're all very tight in that group.
What's the hangout spot in Montgomery?
It's the crib, man. Like everything for free. That's the best spot. You know what I'm saying? Playing the game. That's what we do.
Bond in any way you can.
That's correct.
Absolutely. And Keon, when you look at the defensive side of the ball, you were a ball hawk last year. What excites you about the possibilities this year?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the guys come together. We all came as one. We bond together. So I'm looking forward to the guys showing what they could do. You know, we had a good team last year, so guys want to step up and fill them shoes. So I'm looking forward to them guys that want to do that.
And what's the defense doing to get tight? How y'all bonding?
Oh, we bond very well. We bond with offense as well. So it's not just one side of the ball. We all bond together. So we all chill. We play cards, play video games, you know, just hang out together.
What's the card game? What y'all playing?
We play spades.
Who's your partner?
I got Rudy, my linebacker, you know, that's my guy right there.
Y'all be winning?
Oh, yeah, we be Boston, everything. We get people off the table, you know.
So we'll see, because I'm sure some people going to be in the comments. We're going to know if that's true or not. So this team was predicted to finish third in the East. What's your reaction when you see that?
I think it's disrespectful, but also at the end of the day, it's the preseason. So, it doesn't matter where you start. It's where you finish. So.
I like the way you quickly brush past. Disrespectful, but it doesn't matter. Keon, how do you feel about it?
So me personally, I feel like it's a good thing they got us as the underdogs, you know. Everybody loves an underdog story, so we're going to go out there, show everybody what we want to do and what we is. So I'm thankful to be third and underdogs, you know.
Come from behind and sting them.
Yeah, that's the motto.
I like it. Coach, what do you think?
I think we're right where we want to be. For me, I don't think I need any motivation about whether you selected first, third, or last. If you need motivation from the media, then you're in trouble.
You need some. You know why?
Why is that? Please tell me, Jay.
Because you need to go and win this thing, because you kind of coined this phrase, "Who is SWAC?"
Exactly.
Are you SWAC?
I am.
If you want to be SWAC, then you know what you got to do.
What's that?
You got to get one of these SWACs.
You're exactly right.
We look forward to seeing the Alabama State Hornets swarm as one this season. Thank you so much, Head Coach Eddie Robinson Jr., and to the players as well. We appreciate your time. And that rounds out the team portion of this Media Day. We'll be back with final thoughts in Jay's Gimme 5 when we return. For the 2025 SWAC Football Media Day, brought to you by Pepsi, Jay Walker, Tiffany Green, and folks, we appreciate you sticking with us all throughout. It was quite enjoyable to listen to all of the coaches and players, to hear about their expectations and excitement for the upcoming season. What did you take away?
I think the new coaches, that's a big one there, but there's still the same thing where, the coaches are like, hey, we can talk and we can look good on paper, but we've heard less talk because of the portal. Because of the transfer portal, these coaches don't know what they're going to get either. So a lot of them are in limbo in terms of, well, we think we got the right guy, but we don't know if we got the right guy there. Then the scheduling and the interesting layout there, I think those have been some interesting things. And I do like the star power. You talk about Kelby Givens and guys like that. I like having the star power. The SWAC continues to bring the star power.
And the excitement that we have seen from the coaches, because kind of the personality of the coaches has changed over time. You talked about just from a few years ago and until now, but I think we've got some
personable guys,
personable coaches that I look forward to getting to know some of the new guys.
Most comfortable coach up here seemed to be T.C. Taylor.
For sure.
He seemed very comfortable.
Yeah.
And then, you look at the Energizer Bunny's always going to be Lonzo Hampton there, and he still makes you believe. Yeah. I mean, they haven't necessarily busted grape yet, but you still feel like, oh, they're close. They're close.
Yeah. So, Jay, I'm curious.
Okay.
All right. You've heard from everybody, and obviously you do tremendous research. Curious to know kind of the storylines for this upcoming HBCU football season as you will reveal them in
Sounds like you want to give me 5.
Give me 5.
Sounds like you want to give me 5. All right, here we go. Top 5 things I'm looking forward to this upcoming SWAC season. Number 1, we're going to start. That's JSU. Can they repeat? Can JSU get the job done? They've got a good chance to. They're the hottest thing in HBCU football right now. Number 2, we kind of talked about the trash talker. They lost Cornell Maynard, who was a legendary trash talker. The SWAC is all about trash talk. What coach is going to step up and be that guy that can talk the talk and walk the walk, back it up? Number 3, let's go with the 3 new coaches that they've got in the conference this year. You got Mississippi Valley State has got a new coach. Alabama A&M has got a new coach. And help me, I'm going to draw a blank. Prairie View A&M has got a new coach. So that's the story that I'm seeing there. Number 4, how about Viva Las Vegas? The SWAC thinking outside the box, expanding their footprint, going into Nevada, going to Las Vegas for that game there between Grambling and Jackson State. And number 5, we've been saying this for the past couple of years, the wacky Wild West of the SWAC. Who is going to win the SWAC West? Who's going to be the team or the program that's going to dominate on a continual basis? Southern won it last year. Can they do it again this year? And on the bubble, I'm going to put Prairie View A&M and FAMU. You know why? Because 5 and 7, number 5 and 7 was not enough for Prairie View A&M to keep their coach. And Florida A&M lost 5 games for the first time in a long time. Those are teams on the East and the West. They're going to have something to say about how it all rounds out.
I agree with many of your points, and I really do love the footprint expansion going out to Las Vegas. I'll add Tiff's 2 cents really quickly because you talked about those 3 new head coaches. I think who will shine? That's my question mark. Who will shine as one of those new head coaches? You know, not divulging much information, Tremaine Jackson, about how many players traveled over with him from Valdosta. Terrell Buckley, who has got an excitement and wanting
had a quiet confidence about himself there,
definitely
too.
acquired confidence for sure.
I like the messaging.
Yeah, but the chase that we heard from Sam Shade and the chase is on for the Bulldogs to try to take number 1 in the SWAC East. Secondly, I'm going to go lighter here, and that being, let's think about some of the uniform combos, right? And the wonderful combinations that we may see. Now, I'm not going to be very popular when I say this with Rattler Nation, but Bethune-Cookman oftentimes has some really solid uniform combos, especially with the helmets.
They always show up in the classic, too. They always show up in the
Sure.
classic. You
For
being the
sure.
fashion aficionado that you are, giving a shout out to. So you're saying Bethune does better uniform combinations than FAMU?
They look great. They look great.
You're saying
Yes.
that? Oh my God!
They do.
In the show.
They do.
In the
I mean,
show.
They have the shiny helmets. I know they in Jackson State kind of have the shinier chrome looking helmets, and so it's a good look. But finally, what's it going to take to be able to hoist that trophy for the 2025 cricket celebration?
Quarterback.
Quarterback.
You got to have quarterback. I mean, it's coming down like it's pretty simple. If you've got the best quarterback play, you're going to win this conference. You're going to go very deep into it. Florida A&M made that run when they had Musa at quarterback there, Jackson State. So that's what it's going to come down when they had Shedeur Sanders. Quarterback play. And the quarterback position is wide open. Jackson State has a returner, but, you know, he was substituted in and out as well. So I want to see who's going to be that quarterback. QB1. That's the key.
You're always thinking about quarterbacks and always thinking about offense for sure, but the defense certainly stout within the Southwestern Athletic Conference as well. My partner and the Black College Football Hall of Famer, Jay Walker. I'm Tiffany Green. We say thanks so much, and we out from Birmingham.
Big rivalry.